Tune in to Watch Chubble. We bring you a variety of info, highlights with Chandy Sweet,
Nikki G, the voice, and DJ Dazzle.
Hit us up on IG
at Chandy_Media
and at Nikki G, the voice. Chandy, you ready for Watch Chubble?
Yeah, girl, I'm totally ready.
Watch Chubble.
Push back and give me all of you. Give me girl, give me girl, give me girl.
On boomstation.net.
Boomstation.net.
Unmuted.
Good night.
Good night. How was your weekend or your week? Including your weekend, because it's right there, even though, how was it?
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is quarantine treating you?
It's nice. Hey, lovely. Hi, friend.
Hi, how are you? You good?
Yeah.
Enough people don't
But
see
you
you
know,
already.
Nikki, quarantine is nice. I'm loving it, actually. I like being home. Yeah, I like being home with my son, spending time with him, teaching him new things, and doing more things in the house. And when you have the ability to work from home, it's easier, less stress, because you still have an income coming in, and then you can do the things that you always say you want more time to do.
Exactly. That's how I feel. I feel the same way.
But it's different when you don't have a work.
Yeah, I was actually speaking to a friend today. I work from home, thank God. For 3 months, I didn't really have much to do because they were trying to see how they could bring the computer to us, to all, And just recently, within a month or so, is when I got my computer. And I was speaking to a friend today who is not working and work for the airport. And they basically told me that, they have no income. But
really?
No income, but they live with family. So you know how Caribbean people are. It's like we live with family and we'll, yeah. So
but that's still hard though. That is still hard.
It's hard. Yeah. It is hard because you have, thank God they saved money in the bank. So they have that income to fall back on. Yeah, my music just went to a commercial. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna put it on what is this thing?
Some jazz.
SoundCloud. No interruptions.
Yeah, because I find like even TuneIn annoys me now with all the ads.
Oh really?
What?
Because they want you to
buy it.
Money. Yeah.
No star.
Let me switch it up a bit because I know.
All right, I'm going back to hide my face.
Are you? Oh, I cut you off.
Show your face. See, that's to tell you, she's an introvert. This is an introvert's paradise, yo. This is a real introvert's paradise right now.
But thanks for sharing, though. Hold on, let me try and load this down.
Your soca takeover with DJ Jal, getting you ready for Carnival.
Woo! Yeah. All right. Yeah, quarantine. I enjoy cooking. I was cooking yesterday and I was eating and a friend called me and was like, oh my God, you like your stomach, eh? I'm like, come on.
For me, I learned how to make, I know there's a couple of dishes I learned how to make.
Wait, Chandy, am I hearing you?
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but very low. Oh, you know why? Hold on.
Is your music.
I know why. Forget about the music. That's why I can't hear. Because I low down my volume. Yeah, what were you saying?
No, I was saying within the quarantine, I've learned a couple of new dishes, so that's the exciting part.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's it. But for the most part, I kind of fed up I got fed up of Uber Eats because Uber Eats was just overcharging.
Oh yeah.
And I got fed up of cooking. Then I was just like, oh, I need a vacation. Put it that way. I'm ready for a vacation.
Oh, yeah. I have like a vacation in like 3 weeks. So
where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Heaven only knows. Only heaven
You were
knows.
going somewhere.
Huh?
Sound like you were going somewhere.
No, well, anywhere that I do go, if I'm going, I'll be driving, you know?
Okay.
So that's the thing. We haven't decided where we're gonna go yet, but gotta go somewhere and not be in the house. Like I can't be in the house anymore. I need some sun. Today I said I was gonna go out and get some sun, and that didn't help because it was like one meeting to the next. Anyone who wants to unmute yourself to say goodnight and stuff like that and join in the conversation, you can, because being that we're on Zoom, we try to interact with everyone. So Sebo, if you want to say goodnight after I unmute you, I just unmute you to say goodnight to you and you could respond back.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm here to sip and chat with you guys.
Thank you.
Here to sip and chat with you guys.
Very nice. Very good.
No, we're trying to get Sue to join us. Sue's a busy woman, but I'm happy she joined us tonight.
Very nice. Sue, are you gonna put on video or no video? Just talk.
I'm just gonna talk for tonight. You know, I got a little quarantine going and stuff.
What have you done during your quarantine since, like, or are you working?
Well, actually, I'm working from home now. So it's been a bit of a transition for me, but I try to stay active and, you know, get into a new routine at home.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think everybody's doing that. It you learn so much. Like I learned so much about myself, and as for I love doing productions and entertainment and all that stuff. So I learned new tricks in the book about producing and of course cooking. Everybody knows I love to cook, you know. So some few recipes. Yeah. I actually got to do something for my job, so I have to do that by tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta definitely finish that video tonight because cooking all these dishes just to show them something it's I didn't know it was so much work.
Yeah.
So Chandy, you want to start off the topic with who we have?
I guess so. I can't even see who's there. I can only see you and me.
I know. Well, I guess
who's there. Some people saying they're there. I'm like, I don't see you.
It's different. It's different. But
it is very different. But I guess, you know, it's so funny. The reason why I kind of like the Zoom, because every week is something different. Some weeks we have like a ton of people. Some weeks we have a little bit of people. So it all depends. But I wanted, and I expressed this to you, so I'm going to share with everybody else. I wanted today to just be talk, and we didn't have any guests, so that the conversation could just flow through. So, you know, yeah. So everybody can, you know, chime in. But next week, we're going to have the artist Wendy in on the show. And I want to, you know, we'll see who else we can get on. But for the most part, it's just going to be straight talk with you guys. I don't know if you guys want to start. Let's start with the news, because I'm going to try to see if we can go back to the format of how we used to do it when we was on the radio. So I'm going to go with the news first, and then we're going to go into the topic. So if you guys are following us on our Watch Chubble page, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted to say hi to the phone number that's here. Did you want to say hi? The 917 number, no name? Good night.
No name wants to be no name.
All right. Someone
the person spoke?
I thought they did. All right, so never mind. I forgot to put it in the boom chat. Go ahead, Chandy.
No, so I was gonna say, you know, if you guys follow us on Watch Chubble on Facebook, then you'll see that, you know, we had some topics in the news segment. So one of the topics that came up, I don't know if anybody does grocery shopping within this pandemic period, but the prices for groceries have gone up tremendously. So one thing that came up, they mentioned that egg prices shot up by 16.1%, cereal by 1.5%, milk, bread, and juice by 3.8%. And to me, that's serious. I remember I went for a bag of codfish to make codfish cakes, and it used to be $14.99, and the price now is $25 in the supermarket.
Whoa.
That's a huge jump. It's a huge jump.
Major.
That's serious. And I can't even say it's a price gouge because it feels like we're about to approach a food shortage. So it's like, if you don't have seeds to plant your seeds, then you're kind of screwed. So I think I want to be a farmer now. I think I said that in the chat too. I want to be a farmer at this point in time. Find some seeds and plant them.
That is.
But yeah, so that's a big shock.
I think
another thing.
I think that's why now I go to the grocery store and I can't remember spending $200 every time I go. I mean, I have a family of 3 or whatever, but everybody sometimes would buy out or we buy food in the grocery store. And now I find myself, well, my daughter was asking how come now it's like so much food, the amount of paper we use, this and that and the other. Chocolate Mo is here.
And that's the next thing, like the next thing that I discovered. And when you live with kids, oh my God, forget it. I feel
they
like
eat a lot.
Everything. I'm just like, do you guys eat this much in school? Like, can I get a snack? Can I get a snack? And it's just like, do I have enough snack in the house for all of you?
It is ridiculous. But for us, for me with the snacks, it's kind of reversed because I buy a lot of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. Hi, Mo, Chocolate Mo.
What's up, Mo?
Oh, wait. Hi. Yeah, I raise the kids on more fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we never really had a lot of snacks in the house. So my daughter was like, Mom, even though you buy the snacks, you probably don't need to buy it anymore because, they could feel the difference, right? Most times they'll probably buy like fast foods as opposed to snacks.
Mm-hmm.
So guess who's the person who's eating Sniper? Sniper's here.
Hi, Sniper.
I don't think he's not gonna hear you yet. He's now coming in.
Okay.
Hey, Sniper. Name's Lewis. I'm not sure who his name.
Where are you?
Oh, he's connecting. His audio is connecting.
His audio is connecting. Oh, he looked like he about to rob a store.
I know. He looks like in a studio. Yeah, his audio is still connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're the one who's eating all the snacks.
I'm the one because the thing is look. Hi.
Linda.
I was now about. Did I put it? Yeah, I put it in the boom chat. Nice.
Good night, ladies.
Good night. Oh,
good night. How's Montreal?
Awesome surprise.
It's fantastic. It's like 27 degrees, which is, I don't know.
Yeah, Fahrenheit. How much is that?
80 something in Fahrenheit, I guess.
Oh,
90s,
good.
Okay. Because that sounds real frigid.
You know what? United States is like one of the only places that is using Fahrenheit and miles. So leave us Canadians alone. Travel the world. It's in Celsius and it's in kilometers.
The island.
How's everything?
We were talking about food prices and snacks. How's it going over there in Montreal?
How's the price?
The prices are raising. They're definitely getting up there. I lucked out today. I went into a grocery store and I found Lysol wipes and Lysol spray, and I bought everything. It was like I think there was like 6
That's
wipes.
not smart. That's people like him why I can't find any. Because he bought all.
He's in Montreal. He doesn't count.
But you know what? It's not 6 for me. I gave some to my mom. I gave to my sister, and we all live in like 2 blocks radius. So I got to do that shopping,
Okay,
Hey, Sniper. Oh, who was
Yo! Where do you guys find this guy?
Oh, wait. Hold a second. Hello? Hello?
Nikki, you're on a phone call?
Wait. It's I'll tell you who it is.
What's Sniper going on? Chandy.
Better be Jesus calling to say he trying to get on the chat. What's up? My internet connection.
Did Sniper sing you a song today?
Yo. He does. He sings to me every day.
I can't lie, I miss that guy. He's good. He's good jokes.
Yo, I told him that. So everybody misses him. He needs to come back. We lost him. It looked like we lost his internet connection. Who is Nikki talking to?
So what's the
muted
topic
everybody.
tonight? What's the
Choco,
topic tonight?
unmute yourself. So
She
we have
talking.
the relationship topic. The relationship topic is: have you ever let a good person go because you weren't ready to be in a relationship with them?
Because I wasn't ready to be in a relationship with them?
Correct.
Yeah. I did actually.
You have?
I did. And
you regret it?
No, because I married her.
Oh, so she ran away and then came back.
No, she didn't. She didn't run away. I just wasn't. I knew from day one. As soon as I met her, I was like, this is the girl for me. She is special. She treated me like a king. She still does. And I didn't want to do anything to mess it up. So we'd started talking, and then, you know, we'd kind of distanced, and then we got back a couple of months after, and that was it. Literally, that was it. I went away. I went away to Trinidad, as a matter of fact, and I told her, don't leave my house. I came back, she was there, and she moved in, and now I got two beautiful kids that are running around water fighting and doing that stuff in this.
In.
Oh, that's the topic on the right person?
Yeah. He asked what was the topic tonight, so I jumped into the topic. We're trying to go with the format as on the radio where we do the news and all of that. So let me just go back 2 steps. I don't know if you saw our Watch Chubble page on Facebook, but there's a story there, and I'm gonna get back to you with your wifey story. There's a story there where a mother watched her daughter. She was in the bathroom, I think bathroom, and a potential kidnapper was coming to take the child right in front of the mother. Some people are saying that the mother had no right to, because the mother ended up beating the woman because she said, "Leave my child alone." The whole video plays out on the Watch Chubble page. Some people are saying that the woman was mentally ill, so she had no right to beat the woman. But some people are saying, you know, as a mother, they would have beat the woman regardless to what. So I don't know if you saw the video. The little girl was on the toilet, actually, in the bathroom, in a public bathroom, and the lady was looking to take the child from out the bathroom to go with her. You didn't see the video, Nikki?
No, the thing is, let me just explain this. Like, when you put all the videos and the chatting and stuff, it's like they have us busy right now from 9 to 5. If it's not Zoom, it's some type of meeting, whatever. So I don't get to go in and see everything. You know, I saw it today, but what I thought it was like another video with the police taking someone's child. So I saw someone says, "Oh my God," right in front of the mother, but I saw it today. You know, I didn't really get to see it. And I was talking to Randolph just now, Andrew. That's why I answered the phone, because he was gonna come in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So why he didn't come in?
Tell him come through.
I just sent him the link, so I'm not sure like why. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
What's your point for that one? Like,
I don't have Facebook for reasons just like that. Like, I got a lot of stuff going on in my own life that I got to be watching some woman and dealing with some kind of.
That stuff.
It's unfortunate, but I don't know. You know, when you want to give a comment and you want to give an opinion.
Politically correct?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not my situation, you know? So sometimes it's almost like, who am I to say anything?
I feel you on that one.
Like, I kind of feel.
He's so right. He's so right, because I actually typed something to send a comment and then I backed it out. So I know the feeling. But now that we're here in person, I would whoop her ass. Yes,
That's
yes,
a fact.
yes, all day
That's a
long.
fact.
And
Yes.
let me tell you why. Because mentally ill or not mentally ill,
they know what they're
don't
doing.
trouble my child. I don't give a shit what's wrong with you. That's my child. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to beat your ass as long as I know my child is going to be safe while I'm beating your ass. Now, if I'm going to put my child in jeopardy, then that's going to be the walk away from me. Thirdly, if you don't beat her ass, guess what? Your child is going to come back to you in 20 years. Oh, mommy, somebody try and teach me way and you didn't do anything about it. They do that, you know. And they don't know that maybe walking away is a better option, or they don't know that you calling the police is a better option. But sorry, I'm whooping her ass.
I am whooping back off of what Jinx said, in the sense that when you're in that situation, I want to say I would call the police, but I don't know what I would probably do. And I think I probably would have acted the same way as a mother. Because as a parent, the first thing you want to do is to protect your own. And the fact that this child was on the toilet, that's the part that bothered me the most. The child was on the toilet and the person is like, come with me, come with me. And it's just like.
And she's about 4 or 5 years old, so that makes it even worse.
And it's just like, why would you do that?
I'm sorry, I'm Mama's Bear. I am whipping her behind. I did that to a lady on the train station one time. I was coming off the train and she bumped my daughter. And I was like, miss, you already missed the train. You bumped my daughter. She said, oh, well, your child shouldn't have been there. Why did the lady say that? Why did the lady? My phone went flying and I tore her up. And of course, later on, my daughter was like, but mom, you didn't have to hit her like that. Yes, the hell I did, because she didn't have to bump you. Like, people are crazy. And for that lady, I don't know if it's mental health. She could just be high. People say mental health. Not everyone that acts crazy have mental health. Some people are just literally evil, for one, and some are on drugs. So whip that ass. She gonna remember next time not to take nobody kid. And it looked like whoever the guy that she's working with, he came after because she was on the phone talking to him. Then he came to the bathroom afterwards to help her. I would have both their asses.
Whoop it.
You know what's crazy is hearing these two opinions, which, you know, as a parent, yeah, you protect. But what's crazy and scary is, I remember when I used to work at the airport, I met this one customs officer, and we just started talking. And then all of a sudden, he just said to me, he's like, you want to see something cool? So I said, all right. And he took out his phone, and this guy started showing me an artillery of guns. So I was like, okay, customs officer, right? So I'm just like, all right, so what do you have these for? He's like, well, I go to the range and I just like collecting guns and for protection. I said, well, protect yourself against what? What do you need all those guns for? So he started telling me a story about his nephew that had lived in Florida that was able to carry a concealed weapon. And I said, well, what do you need that for? And he goes, I understand where you're coming from, but it will always make you think about robbing somebody else, trying to do something to somebody else because you don't know what that other person has on them, which I understand that as well. But imagine that as well. Somebody bumps your child, right? And we see this stuff in videos nowadays that are surfacing. You know, somebody bumps your child or makes a comment at you, and you let your feelings get the best of you or whatever, and then you end up dead. Like, this world is so scary right now. Like, I'm not telling the two ladies that made those that voiced their opinion, I agree with you. If you knock my child, I'm gonna back my child as well. But what's scary is you don't know what these people will do nowadays. You know, back growing up, it was like you get into a fight and it really stops there. You know what I mean? And it's scary in this day and age. And the fact that, crazy or not, you can go to the washroom and something like that will happen. You know, that's, I don't know. We are living in a mess.
Different time. It's true.
Different time because, you know, and at the end of the day, it's like, I think sometimes it takes keeping a cool head and really assessing the situation, because as crazy as a world that we live in, you know, I could overreact today for something that I feel is very important, but is a little minor, and then I can't protect my own for something major that happens tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
No?
You're so nice.
But that's what I was just about to say.
I'm a hothead.
In a situation like that, you find people in a situation like that. Let me just say, anybody that added themselves, you guys could unmute if you want to speak up, because I know a couple of people have kids here. So if you want me to unmute you, I could do that. Hi, Shutta, welcome. Frankie, welcome. I know they have a lot to say about
They're
it.
running up and down, so I gotta stay on mute for a little bit.
All right, no problem. Anybody who wants to jump in, if you want us to repeat what the question is, Chandy will repeat it for you, because I'm texting away here and I'm missing some of the stuff. But I was just about to say, it depends on the situation too, because you find some people who are very hot-headed, and no matter what is going down because it's their kid. And then you find people, I'll just speak for myself, is the time and place, right? Because if my daughter's standing next to me and somebody comes up to do something to her, sure enough, I'm gonna retaliate back. You know what I mean? But it depends on the situation and what type of person is coming at you, you know? But some people, it does not matter. You touch my kid, it's going down.
I mean, we're talking about kidnapping. I mean, do you have to forget a couple of months ago when everybody was being kidnapped? So,
yeah.
That's true too. That is real true.
Yeah.
I think so. For anybody who's now joining in, we're talking about the young mother whose daughter was who almost was kidnapped by another woman. She was in the bathroom, and the story is on our Watch Chubble page. So in the video, you'll see that the mother caught the woman telling her daughter who's on the toilet, come with me, come with me. The strange woman is telling the daughter, come with me. And the mother's like, she's not having it. She ends up beating the woman in the bathroom in front of the child. That was the next thing. She called, I don't know who she called. She called strangers to either watch the child, or she called her friends to come, and she said, please come. And they came, and the mother beat up the woman who was trying to attempt to kidnap the daughter.
So let me ask you a question.
She warned her a couple of times, because she told her to leave her child alone. She said, listen, leave her alone. And the lady insisted. She's like, oh, no, just come. What?
And that's why people said that she was mentally ill. She was mentally ill. That's what people were saying. She was mentally ill.
Or she could be high. That don't mean nothing. It could be either or.
But some mentally ill people, that's their vice. Either coffee or drugs. Those are two of their vices.
But I didn't see the video. So you telling me that the mother left the child unattended or with somebody?
I was just about to say that, because check this. Now, as a parent, right? Why would you let your kid go to the bathroom by themselves, unsupervised?
At 4 or 5 years old.
Okay. And it's the same gender, so you should be in the bathroom with your child.
Of course.
Of course.
All right.
Them times my child is stooping over the toilet, the child not sitting down on the toilet. I'm there to pull the child over the toilet.
Hello.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
They actually had a movie. They had a movie on that. I think it was real life, where the girl was, I think she was playing in the playground with her brother, and a van came up and took her away, and the brother didn't know what happened to her. I can't remember exactly what she wanted to do, but the guy had a little kid come and kidnap her, and it was just something that he did throughout the years, and the girl grew up to be a prostitute. I think she was like 18 years old or something like that, and then finally got back to her parents at 18, but she had to do the same thing that was done to her, and she got beat up by the guy because he ended up picking her to be one of the girls, but he had like about, let's say, 6 different type of girls living with him, and they became teenagers. One died, she survived. They found her after, I think he beat her up and threw her away, and they found her in the dumpster, and that's how her family found her after 18 years. After prostituting her to men who are on the net and all kind of stuff, you know?
Well, that lady could have just been bait.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, I'm not God, but these are the type of people that should not be here.
Hence we said whip her ass.
Yeah, but you know what? In all reality, yeah, you want to let it out and whoop her ass. But you know what? She's gonna heal tomorrow, and she's gonna go back and do some other stuff. You know what
True,
I
but
mean?
people were saying to put her in jail, but putting her in jail that doesn't necessarily mean that she'll
might
get
even have a
charged.
weapon the next time.
Yeah, but you know what they do with child molesters and child abductors in jail, so she might
They
not
don't do
see
nothing to them. They don't do nothing to them, really.
Yeah.
They don't do nothing to them.
That's
We
how
think
she
that.
feels. I was gonna say
Tell
that's
them
how
how
she feels. That's how she
you
works.
Tell them
She
how
locks them up. She locks them up, Jinx. Don't even act no further. That's what she does for a living.
That's how she knows.
They don't do nothing to them. That's a myth.
At least here in
That's a
America. I don't know about Montreal.
Word.
Oh, you're crazy, man! I got a cousin that's a correctional officer in Philly. The
Word?
stories I will tell you. 2 cousins, as a matter of fact. The stories I could tell you that he came back, and he himself is not really stable in his head right now from the things that he's seen in there, the things that he had to do, and
I mean, I might be a little off. I don't think so, but I might be a little off. But you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
So it
but trust me, I see a lot.
depends on the jail
You're a
that you're
correctional officer?
working for then. I
Yes.
guess.
Okay.
In a men's maximum facility. So yes, you see a lot of craziness. Yes.
In what state? What state?
Oh, okay.
New York State. I work for Sing Sing.
I don't know what you be seeing, but I be hearing stories, so I don't know. I ain't
Yes.
seen them, but
You hear stories. I mean, you see things, but not like we would assume. We assume like, oh, okay, because a guy raped a child, he's gonna come to jail and automatically he's gonna get raped. It really.
I got 2 friends that are
like
correction officers, and they've told me all kinds of madness that happened in there.
Really? So it really depends on where you work then.
I know. Are you the receptionist? I'm not I'm trying to question your integrity or your authority there. But anyways, you know what? You're a very strong individual. I would never want to say not even 1% of the stuff that goes on in there. Props to you.
And trust me,
Chandy, let me tell
from
you.
grandfathers raping their own kids to fathers raping their own kids. You see it all.
That's the saddest thing. That's what gets to me, you know.
That's
Chandy,
the scariest thing.
you could share the video here too for anyone who wants to see it.
I want to say that I can agree with the gentleman who said, you have to be careful about what other people may have on them. It's a true statement and you don't know. But in that particular situation, you're attacking me and mine, and you don't know what I have on me. However, just to turn the tables a little bit, we all saw the video where the lady was in the train station and she didn't have the mask and she had the child. And you remember that one?
Oh, that's a whole next story. Oh my God.
Yeah, the police basically beat her down. Now, this was last week, this week? For me,
with the little boy when they were trying to take him out.
Yeah.
That one, he was saying something on the train.
Yeah, in that situation, I put on my mask and keep it moving. First of all, you're in New York City. You already know how the cops stay. You know how the police are, and they're not telling you to do anything wrong. You have a child. You're supposed to be setting an example. And for her to be boisterous with the police and defiant in front of a child, knowing that you have a child with you, it's you one against 7 or 8 cops? Why would you do that? I felt like she endangered the child because she could have lost her
100%
life.
right.
But Katrina, I understand what you're saying, right? But she did have on a mask. The only thing is it wasn't covering her nose, and I get it. Her child actually had on a mask also. The child mask was covering her nose. Apparently, what the lady said was that she's asthmatic and she couldn't breathe. I don't know if y'all wear masks, but I know personally when I'm at work, yes, we're supposed to wear it, but it's difficult wearing it for 8 hours. So going upstairs sometimes you become winded because for one, you're breathing in your carbon dioxide or whatever the heck it is that you're breathing in. So it makes it very difficult. So I understood. So honestly, as a CO, the cop could have just been like, listen, put on your mask, whatever, and kept it pushing. They weren't doing all of that to the 2,000 Jews that was having a funeral, and they weren't all covered.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I mean, we have to go there because at the end of the day, they continue to do dumb stuff to us. Like, I get it. Okay, put on your mask. She was leaving the train station. If she was getting into the train, then that's fine. All right, fine. But she was leaving the train. Leave her alone. Go about your business. Like,
But
yo,
that's
miss, go
my
about your
whole
business.
point.
So
That's
you
know
my
what
bringing
it
her
is?
down to the ground with her child for what?
My whole point is because you already see the situation, you already should know it's a lose-lose. For me, I would have seen it as a lose-lose. I'm asthmatic too. And I find it hard to breathe in the mask too. But the way the cops are behaving here in New York, if it's as simple as covering my nose and walk a few feet and pull it back down, in that scenario, to protect the safety of me and my child, I just would have complied.
Well, maybe she has mental health problems. So we're going to go with that. She got mental health
Oh
problems.
my
No,
God.
seriously, no, seriously, you never know. Like I'm telling you, these masks are very hard to breathe in. But then again, these cops, they don't. I'm telling you, they don't care. They literally
don't
like
care.
they try to pick on people. Cause look, let me
They
give
will
you
pick on you.
let me give you an example, right? Look at this, right? All right, Nicole, you know where I live, right? You see in front, outside the house where they got the little wall. So one day I was outside sitting out there. Mind you, I have my mask on. So this cop, they pulled over this lady. I guess she was speeding or whatever. So it was two white cops. So when the one in the passenger side came on, mad big brolic guy. So he had his mask on. So he went to the car. I guess he asked her for license and registration. So mind you, you know when you feel like somebody's like staring at you, you feeling that ray. The driver is staring at me like this, Nico, and he ain't blinking. So I'm like, the fuck this nigga looking at me for? Alright, cool. So automatically my mind started clicking. I was like, you know what? Let me put my video camera on. And you know, when the other guy came out from the car, I guess they went to write the ticket. This dude is still looking at me. He comes out the car and staring at me, and I'm like, you see what I'm talking about? Like he's already intimidated by me just looking at him.
Looking at him.
And I'm not even moving. I'm like, you know what? Because the neighbors and them was out there, and I was like, if nobody was there, I already know you're gonna try to come and do some fuckery. I was like, yo, these cops are crazy, bro. Sometimes you don't even do nothing, and they try to come after you. She was crazy.
But is it true about them having to fill their quota, and that's why they do the things they do right now?
Yep.
Now it's abuse, but for the tickets, yes. It's true.
Well, I
That's
not
true.
the abuse, but the tickets,
That's true.
yes.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not gonna lie. I was very upset with the whole school, but I didn't. You know, I knew you can't expect them to get fined. I knew that was gonna happen, which brought up a topic that I was gonna bring up. You know, Arabs own their own stuff. The Jews own their own stuff. What do Black people own? What do we really own? What community we own?
Well, we can make it happen.
We could make it happen, but are we really gonna make it happen?
If we want to, are you gonna open up a store?
We could make it happen. It's just that.
Okay, so if we do open up any type of businesses, are we going to support one another? That's the next thing.
That's the next thing.
That's the next thing.
What? A stranger would support us faster than the people that we're supposed to think it would support us.
That's true. That's true.
The same way like Louis Vuitton and
then
these other big companies can go and do stupidness and put monkeys on their damn things. And guess what? Black people still buying it.
And then too, another thing too.
Like fools.
Like you gotta be professional with it too, because it's like this. All right, you have Black-owned nail salons, all these stuff. You hit them up, they answer the phone. Hello. You know, you try to book an appointment and they mad aggressive and stuff. You hit them up today, they ain't gonna hit you back till next week, and all these nonsense. Like you gotta be professional with your business.
And
I agree with the nail salon and stuff like that. You got to look at the Chinese people. They don't have etiquette either. It's, well, you want, how you doing? But you let it slide because of the whole language barrier. You let it slide. Oh, they don't know how to.
But they respond fast though. They get your shit done.
And you know your prices.
Make an appointment and the prices. Exactly.
There you go. The price is always gonna get you.
Exactly, because you go to a black salon, it's like $30 for a pedicure.
No, it's actually 50.
50.
God, me not able.
What? In New York?
$50 per pedicure.
For
Yes,
pedicure?
it is. $50, and you have to put down a booking fee. That's non-refundable.
A booking fee? No way.
Yes, Nicole. Yeah, they got booking.
Why am I go through all of that and I could go to the
I would go to
Tiffany?
Tiffany is only $20 for my gel pedicure.
Are you kidding me?
And Tiffany, I teach her manners, because when she goes, what do you want? I go, no, it's what may you want? I teach
Yeah, Tiffany is cool. Tiffany is cool.
Tiffany scrubs my feet and don't give me no issues. Okay.
True, with her $2 tip or $5 tip. You know what I'm saying?
There
She
you
don't
go.
care as long as you tip her.
Exactly. And she go, I see you in 2 weeks. I go, yes, I still
Yeah, and I'll be back.
Oh, you bring your husband too? Oh, okay. Bring
Oh, you bring
husband
husband too? Okay, cool. I do him after, okay? Yes.
But I can't believe $50 for a pedicure.
I've never gone to a black salon. I've always said I wanted to support them, but I've seen the comments now of people saying you have to put down a deposit, like the lady just
you gotta
said.
put a
You have
deposit.
to put down this, you have to put down that, and then they're not professional. Like you said, I didn't even know all of that. With Cindy, I just walk in, I'll be like, Cindy, I'm she's like, oh, come, two people. I'll be like, all right, I'm back.
Exactly.
Or you told Cindy, listen, I'll be right back, but I got 2 people in front of me. Yeah, just come back. Or you bring back. Okay, let me know if you bring soda. I need soda too, okay?
Yeah, that's it. It'll be simple. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Wow. In Jersey, I think it's like $18. But for your
black or Chinese?
Yeah, that's why I'm like pedicures. Where you guys getting pedicures for $50? $50. I mean, even if you're doing gel nails is where it's gonna get higher. Gel nails.
You talking about black people or Chinese people?
Chinese.
We're talking about black. We're talking about black people.
Black people is only $18. $18, $23 the most.
Only
black people is $50, and they don't even give you a price. You get no price until the work is done, and it could be a mediocre job.
Yeah.
You don't never get a
Nicole,
price. There's never a price.
Properly.
Nothing.
Nicole, I'm sorry, but I tried one black person already, like Frankie, and they messed up my nails. That shit took months. You hear me? Months. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna stick to Tiffany, okay?
No, as racist as it sounds, growing up, I used to think it was only Chinese people supposed to do your nails and hands.
You're racist.
I'm dead. All my life, that's all I saw. And for Spanish people,
No, I believe them because you only see Chinese people doing nails. Yeah,
they're the majority, so that's why you think.
So that's all you know is the Korean on the fruit stand. Or horrible, but that's just the mindset you had growing up in New York.
That's true. Because again, black people don't support other black companies. Like my brother, he had a winery. So what I used to do is, all my friends, I used to tell them about his winery until he obviously closed it down because he was only breaking even for 2 years. But black people wasn't supporting him. Guess what it was? The Caucasians that was in the area that was supporting him.
But what was his winery prices? Was it higher than normal?
No, it was very reasonable prices, and you were able to walk in. It wasn't like a regular liquor store. You know how you have to glass up and you get your and he would definitely give like
days you could have tasted
and
testing and all that shit.
But why? So why is it? Because
black people like liquor.
Somebody just said that, and I agree.
What?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
But I like the fact that your brother. I'm just walking home right now. I like the fact that your brother opened a winery, because what I was listening to is and hearing is when black people own business, they want to open a clothing store, they want to open a barber shop, a Caribbean store that sells groceries, or
they dare to be different. Yeah.
They don't do things to try and run a successful business besides just run the same business. If you own a nail shop, I'm going to open a nail shop too. How many nail shops do you want? If the Koreans are getting that and they're bringing their products in from China, the cheapest, how can you compete with that? You can't be mad at black people for not supporting the wine. I'm not just going to support a business because it's black owned if I'm not a wine drinker. The truth is it's white people that are drinking the wine. The black people are drinking the hard liquor. I like his idea. I really like.
But he wasn't only selling wine though. He was selling other hard liquors.
Okay.
He also did lower prices to anybody who would want maybe a $500 bottle. But he gave everybody a variety. But again, people weren't buying. He was only breaking even for 2 years. He gave it 2 years, and it didn't work out for him.
Man, this man had everything there, bro. Trust me.
But see, and if I was in that neighborhood, I would have been supporting him One, because he's black owned, and two, because he's got product. But at the end of the day, I just had this conversation with, for example, the Caribbean grocery stores out here versus some grocery stores that sell Caribbean products. It's always more expensive in a Caribbean store. So
That's
me,
what I was about to say.
as the buyer, I want to go and support the black guy, but it's more
I can't afford it. Exactly.
But you know what it is? Is there is no distribution owned by a black person. So you have one Caribbean store that sells Grace products. They got to go directly to Grace.
Yes.
There's not one warehouse that supplies to Jack and Jill across the street, Ronald and Gloria up the road. Nobody does that. So again, if Walmart sells a Grace product, obviously they're getting it cheaper because they're holding it in the Walmart warehouse and they're supplying to all the Walmarts across the United States and Canada and so on. This is the problem. So if you want to get into that, you know, Caribbean grocery store and reselling and whatever, the money is not owning the grocery store, it's own the wholesaler and go to all of those product sellers. And that's what you go and do. And that's how you'll help the market and help the black people keep their business afloat so that they could sell it at a cheaper price.
Just about to say the pricing and the attitude as well.
Can I say something? Bro, you're in New York. Where's your mask? You gotta be safe out there, bro.
He's in Toronto or Canada.
I'm in Montreal.
Oh, okay. Just be careful, bro. I'm telling you. Please. I don't know how it is out there, but in New York, be crazy.
No, we're good.
But no, and it goes back to the point, I think Frankie said it best, with the black people not wanting to support other black people. I sell pepper sauce and green seasoning, and my clientele is getting there. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, I could open up a supermarket. It hasn't reached.
I'm sorry, you said you sell what?
Pepper sauce and green seasoning.
She doesn't
You
even
talking
know.
about the
That
green
means you're not
seasoning?
promoting it proper.
I didn't know.
Exactly. But that's what happened. That's what happens to a lot of people. They don't promote their business much.
That's another
their
thing.
business.
I have a whole page, a whole section. It's Sue.
It doesn't matter. You have to keep posting it.
Because Sue is the marketing person.
you
If
know.
Sue is still on the line, you can get on Sue's case. I don't know if she's still here. But let me finish my story, please.
Wait, before you get, hold on, before you get to your story.
Potential customer, so she's telling you how to go about it.
Hold on, before you get to your story now, the same way you made that fancy background, you should have had pepper sauce or something behind your advertising.
You
should have been supporting what you're doing in the background.
Exactly.
Because if you send it to 10 of your friends and 10 of your friends send it to 10 more people and those 10 sends it out, I would have known about it. I love
That's
you
a fact.
Black Nikki, you dropping the ball, Nikki.
The funny thing is,
don't
I buy the chef green seasoning because I like the taste
because
of it.
I post
she made,
when I cook.
She made green seasoning. Look, let me show you something, Miss Lady. Look, the green seasoning done. Watch, it done. It done. The buckle empty.
That's how my bottle
The
looks.
buckle empty. Watch, green seasoning done. Okay, thank you.
This is Shandy's green seasoning right here.
Shandy, you need to change your background so you could put it the same.
I'm gonna put it up. I'll put it up just now.
Where are you located anyway?
I was trying to make it.
Oh, she's in New York.
I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh,
I do
Nikki, that was a very good point.
Really?
Shandy
You're in
marketing
Brooklyn.
itself all
And I
around.
had to go
Yeah.
and find me some green seasoning from the grocery store.
No, I
Because
got
I was very tempted to make it my own at this point.
I got you. And the reason why I could say it's an increase, I could afford to say it's an increase of business is because people are not getting the products like how they normally do. I was talking about that the price increase for fruits and vegetables alone is up there. So I enjoy making the green seasoning and the pepper sauce. I have no problem. I just was shocked that so much calls were coming in like last Mother's Day weekend. I was out of it because it was just so much calls for baskets and stuff like that. And I was just like, what happened?
Because people love their green seasoning. I
used to get, oh, I make my own green seasoning. I don't need your green seasoning. Now it's like, oh, can I get a bottle of green seasoning, please? I'm like, all right, cool, here you go.
I mean, it tastes good. I'm not gonna lie. I've bought a couple of bottles. It tastes good. You got a little something going on. It tastes good. Say thank God. Thank God.
Ask Nicole. I will criticize. I'll let you know if I'm not feeling it.
You will.
I'll give you my honest opinion with no problems. I have no problem saying that.
I'm gonna share you. I have the $5 jar and the $7 jar. So I would give
How
it.
about you give her a complimentary one since she really likes green
seasoning? Show it, Chandy.
I love me some green seasoning.
I'll buy her bottles for her.
Step away from my tunnel in a few minutes. The point that I was making is,
but go ahead.
I had a client that came up to me and she says, you know, I was apprehensive. She was like, I was apprehensive in trying your product. I didn't get to know you as a person and get to know trying your product. I would have never made the effort to do that. And I was just like, that's to tell you that people are so bad-minded, at least within our community, people are just so bad-minded and small-minded that they would stab you in the back. So I wouldn't, you know, when you say your brother owned a winery, I'm quite sure somebody was like, why are you buying from there? It's too expensive. But, you know, that's the community that we have. And it's sad that people are not willing to support one another.
The Caribbean mentality, but it's not even just the Caribbean mentality. I'm sure it happens in.
It's I would say it's more of a Black mentality. It's more. I wouldn't say more Caribbean mentality. It's more us as a nation mentality, because even if I wanted to do, because you know, in different states they don't have a lot of Caribbean anything. Like when I go down to go see my grandmother, she'd be like, "Oh, bring me down some peppers. Bring me down this." And I'm looking like, "What do you mean bring you down? You're in Atlanta. Like, why do I have to bring you all this stuff?" And she don't have any of this stuff. So
they don't have it.
It's just like, but we're close to Brooklyn, but I have to go to East Orange to get my roti and stuff like that, which is like not 45 minutes. Let's say half an hour away without traffic, 45 minutes away. And they close early. I think we have like 2 stores that I know of, you know, and that's 2 stores within the whole of Jersey that I know of. Compared to, you know, Brooklyn, where you could go to Queens, you could go right into Brooklyn. You have like how many stores?
Well, you know, we only go to 2, so we only got 2. Everybody else is nasty. We don't do those. We go to 2. But but I understand what you're saying. Like for me, I wanted to try to, well, when we decide to leave New York, when we move out to a different state, I want to open a Caribbean, you know, fruit stand where they can get their Caribbean products, but I will have to do all this research. So I'm getting the right distributors and they're coming in the right timing and the stuff is not going bad. So
yeah.
And I would
definitely have to market that like on a different type of level, because I want that to be, you know, a chain of different Caribbean stores in different type of areas.
Yeah.
We have Caribbean people all over this East Coast.
But that's the thing about marketing, right? And it's the same thing with me. Even though I'm not selling food stuff and I'm selling my voice or I'm selling photography or whatever the case may be, I don't ever look to friends. Like I'm not gonna go in my inbox of my friends and promote there. My very first year that I did that, nobody said nothing. Nobody said, well, Nicole, you know, I'm going to use this for that. I mean, for Shutter, you know, we get stuff together and stuff like that. But everybody is not going to support you friends-wise. So I don't have any expectations of friends, right?
But let me ask a question,
and everybody else is who I look for to like, okay, I'm getting a client here and there. If you look to get support from friends, you're going to be angry all the time.
But you can't say it like that. I mean, it depends on what you're selling and if that friend requires it or want it.
Well, that too. But why I'm saying you don't look for friends all the time to be supporting you. You're going to be mad all the time. It's like if you're looking for clients, you're promoting outside to get your clients from outside. And if your friends want to support you, they will.
That's true, but you can also start with your friends and then broaden your horizon from there. Like Chandel's sister-in-law, she sells eyelashes. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear eyelashes. So for her, it's like, oh, you know, you're not supporting, and you know, she has body butter and all that. But because I believe in buying black, I would spend my money and do it. So I have a whole bunch of black products that I buy because I'd rather support lower man, someone that I know that money is going to go towards your kids. You would never get me to go buy a Gucci. I'm never going to buy a Gucci bag. I'm never going to buy Fendi shoes or Giuseppe shoes. I would never do that because to me, I work too hard to earn my money to give it to a white person or just to give it to someone that don't care and don't value it.
But when I
believe in buying black. It's just sometimes people just might not like your product. Maybe the way you market your stuff. Some people, you don't even know that you're selling something. Literally, I would have friends like, oh, no one support my business. I'm like, oh, you have a business? Well, what the hell is your business? sometimes you really don't know. And I don't have Instagram. I'm only on Facebook. So it depends on how you market your stuff.
Yeah, because I remember supporting a friend of mine. She sold, well, I met this person or whatever, and I'm like, let me get a couple of lipsticks or whatever. But the lipstick I got from her, it just did not stay on my lips. It was totally, I was like, oh my God. But it's not like, you know, I'll probably buy another brand or support in a different way or promote or something like that. But it didn't pan out right with trying the lipstick, you know? And usually when I'm thinking of buying something, it's not black or white, is what is
I like
suit me, what the brand that'll stay on my eyes, the brand that is good. I don't do black or white, sorry. I just don't.
But I believe in supporting.
But
I believe in buying black, so I will support and buy black.
Yeah.
But see, Nikki, I really like what you said there. And it doesn't, well, to me anyways, it doesn't always become a color thing, because if I go to a black person, which I'll always try and do firsthand, right? If it's really not a good product, I'm not going to keep coming back just because I should be supporting you. If your product is no good, then what is it? You know what I mean?
But do you tell that friend that their product is shitty?
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done that before.
But then people look at it as, oh, you're hating. So
but you know what it is? Yes, you're right. They look at it like you hating. They can't take constructive criticism.
Yeah, you have to be able to. And then some people don't know how to take criticism, so you don't tell them anything.
But that is fine. But then when your business is not successful, you can't be mad at me because I'm not hating on you. Why would I hate on you? Because you're trying to establish yourself. You have to be big enough to take that constructive criticism and go back to the drawing board and say, am I doing something wrong here?
Yep.
You know, and it starts back with what the young lady was saying with the daughter in her hand, is you have to do the research. And people will just pop open with a new business and they're not doing the research. Who is your audience? If I am opening a business and there's 6 other businesses in a 3 kilometer, or sorry, we'll go to 1 mile radius, all selling the same thing. In the same radius, how successful do I really think I'm going to be? Am I aiming to be rich or to make ends meet? Right? You have to do the research, and people just want to get money. Oh, if I do this, like I got a friend of mine, you know, that the first thing he says, oh man, if I had money, I would open a clothing store. I said, dude, you're going to waste your money right there. Give it to me, I'll invest it, and I'll make you your money 2 times over. No, this would work, and you want to have baby fat for kids and this and that. I'm like, nah, dude, you're an idiot.
It depends on what he's selling. It depends.
It depends on what he's selling, one, and 2, he has to do his research and where he's trying to put this business as well. Because there's plenty of places. I'm gonna go to Cookies first. You understand? I'm gonna go to Rainbows first. Because guess what? They've been established for years.
Yeah, and you know
I know for sure that they already have what I'm looking for. Now, what's gonna make me come to your store?
Right. But the difference but the huge difference here is Cookies is very unique. So you can't go everywhere and get those type of clothes for your kid, right? And at the end of the day, the way that they stock their shelves, they're buying it at a cheaper price. So if you would have went to this guy's shop, you would have had a $25 set for your daughter, and you would have been like, well, hell no. And then he's going to turn around and say, oh, well, you don't want to support a black business. No, that's not what it is. Just
no, you know what it is. Like I said, people don't do their research, and to wind up, and when you're doing your research, you have to wind up figuring out what your competitors are charging as well. Like you go to one gas station, like I go to this gas station, right? And I know even if I pay cash or card, it's the same price. I'm not going to another gas station. If I pay with cash, I'm getting it at $2.09. But if I pay with card, I'm paying $2.19. Why am I paying 10 cents more when I can get it for $2.09 either way at my gas station?
Yeah.
People don't do their research, and they just feel like, you know, oh, I'm black, I should be, you know, you should support me, instead of researching and making sure that this will make sense.
But this is exactly it. But nobody's doing the research. to find out which type of businesses can be successful that could also uplift their communities. They all want to open the same shops over and over again.
And
like I haven't seen a black-owned school. I haven't seen a black-owned school yet.
They have them in New York.
We have them, but they're not as huge as, you know,
Success and all that.
Yes,
but I'm sure it's still hard to get into also. I mean, I didn't know that they had any, but I remember, you know, one of my coworkers saying that that's where their kids went. But like you said, it wasn't promoted. I've never really heard it before to say, oh, okay, well, I would like to take my daughter there. But then it also, it's a lot of factors as far as having a business. I had a friend.
Politics.
He opened a barbershop, and it was an amazing barbershop.
For the school now, it was advertised. Many of them are in Bed-Stuy, the charter school, the black charter schools. They're in Bed-Stuy, and they have a bad reputation. That's the next thing with most black schools. They're known to have a bad reputation in the sense that the education, the curriculum, for whatever reason, it's supposed to be the same curriculum across the board within New York State. But for whatever reason, they try to paint the bad picture that the black school can't reach up to where it needs to be. So that's what I was reading. I read that article in the New York Times with this one school in Bed-Stuy. And, you know, you had some black people that was tearing down the school. Like, why would I want, because in the picture, it shows, you know, the teacher was trying to explain to the young girls to get a doll that resembles them and to love them as a black person, so they could love their black skin and not want to bleach and all that. And that was a story that the teacher was trying to tell. When you read the comments of the story now, the black people are like, oh, why would I want to put my child in that? Anyway, I should not be playing dolls in school. We missing the whole point of what the article was really trying to portray. And it goes back to, you know, the crab in the barrel mentality that we have within our black community of tearing each other down instead of uplifting or trying to get a better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah. I want to read something that Jel had put up like yesterday or something. He put here, I just want to know what black people did so wrong for every race to hate us. What have we done? We didn't mass colonize, enslave, or anything like that. So what's the answer?
Black people tackle their wife better than them.
What?
That's a very good question, because honestly, it comes back from slavery. We didn't do anything wrong. We was stolen from our countries, you understand, to build up a country that doesn't even like us. That something happened to the Jews in a whole nother country, but on our soil, they're able to do whatever they want.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling you.
That's, a lot of people don't know, like they don't read the history or try to follow up on the history on why do they hate us so bad. You understand? We are able to make white kids. You understand? But two white people can't make a black child.
Chandy white.
But I'm just saying, like,
that's staying on record. That's staying on tape. That finger.
But again, we are able to make a white child.
My nose too.
We make albino kids. We are able to produce white children where they are very much fair skinned than our color are. White people can't do that, and they're really upset about that.
And that's why I was telling him it's a generational bias, because white people, I don't even like using the word, like saying that, you know, white and black and whatever it is, right? It's like, I actually have a Indian friend once, when I was asking her the same question about blacks and what does she think, and I have another white friend, I'm asking them, what do you think about blacks because of this mass situation and stuff like that? And everything is basically negative. They're like, Nicole, you know, well, black people don't like to listen and this and that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Black people don't like to listen. If this thing started in Asia, what does that have to do with black people? You know? I'm like, this stigma that everybody portrays that black people are so bad, and I think.
But we do it to ourselves as well, Nikki.
We also taught that.
We're taught that way. You know, white skin is better than dark skin and all that stuff. Where I came from, I was raised in a white, black, Chinese, Indian. So that's why I don't necessarily look at color the way how everybody does. You know.
But Nikki, let me tell you something. You see right there when you said, you know, being raised in a white neighborhood and people looking at that, it all has to go back to classing. It's not even just black people in specific. If you go to an Indian nationality, right? So Indian people, the darker your skin, you are lower class. You are considered to be lower class.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure.
Chinese people is the same thing. The lighter your skin, they all want to be light. It all has to do with classing and the brainwash from
The
way
stigma
back
of
when.
whites, yeah. Of
And
light
and,
skin
and
and
I'm
dark skin.
and it doesn't help that you know, when I look at music, right? I'm a DJ. I grew up listening to hip hop. Later developed this love for Caribbean music. And every second word was nigger, 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 nigger,
Oh
nigger,
yeah.
nigger, nigger.
Yep.
So if at the end of the day you don't want anybody else to call you that, but you're calling yourself, what type of picture are you portraying for other people? Well, you say it to the point that now it's just a regular word. Latinos say it, white people say it, Asian people, yo, my nigga. It's like, yo, this is wrong. And it needs to start with black people to erase that word if we want that word erased.
Exactly.
But we
Especially rappers. I think rappers, they need
do
to
it the most.
be the first one to do it, because at the end of the day, if you ever go to a concert, honestly speaking, a lot of people that's supporting, it's white people that go to rap concerts.
Because they love music. They love the music. They love the culture. Everybody, at the end of the day, the whole world, if they could admit it or not, is jealous of black people. They want to be black.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact.
They're white. They want to go to the beach and they want to get tan.
Oh, the plastic surgeries of the big asses and the big breasts and the big lips.
They want to do plastic surgery.
They want to be us.
They want to go to tanning salons.
Mm-hmm.
They want to listen to the music.
No, their hair braided. Oh, and the locks.
Yep.
Threading in the hair. That's the one that kills me.
They want all of that. You know?
Sniper, you just came in. I want to hear your point of view.
Black people.
Yes,
Sniper.
Sniper. Anyone who's on mute, if you wanna say anything, you could unmute yourself, because I don't want to unmute you and then you don't want to say anything. So Vane, if you want to say anything, welcome.
That's Jada. That's Jada.
Happiness.
That's
You
Jada.
guys could unmute yourself if you want to say anything at all.
Hi, Jada.
If anybody want to do videos, James Lewis, all those other people.
But our history as African American people has been tainted. Every other race has their history.
I'll be right back.
As it occurred. Our history is the only history that does not have any direct text or any direct way, or they didn't record it directly, basically. I firsthand experienced this because going to school, I never liked history. I never liked, anything that had to do with the past, because it never seemed like it had anything good to do with Black people. It wasn't until after I graduated school, I was, all right, so females, just like as you are in the hair salon and you guys have conversations, guys do the same in the barbershop. So I was literally in the barbershop and they were talking about a movie called Hidden Color. And it wasn't until I watched that movie, like everything I've learned for the past, 12 years of me going to school, like I realized that the truth to our history, even though it's not documented, was in between those 12 years of going to school. Like the things that you would be able to see as common sense, they don't teach it to you. So I realized that growing up, the things that they're teaching you is specifically so that you don't really realize your value and understand where you came from.
Exactly.
So
100%. But yo, Dazzle, let me ask you a question. Why and how can you expect a white man to teach you about Black history, my friend? Why would you even expect that they would try to teach you this in their white school system?
We're kids, so you don't know the difference. You don't know the difference. What they're teaching you.
I understand.
Like we learned about the Holocaust.
I'm not saying you're wrong or anybody's wrong. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we all owe it to ourselves, because it was said that it's not documented. It's documented. It's there. You could read about it, but you have to go read about it. You can't expect it. It's not hard to find.
But it's definitely not hard to find, because my mother was teaching us, and I'm the oldest of 8. She used to show us movies and teach us and read to us different things about our history. This is why I would say, you know, if it don't come from home, you're not learning anything.
Yeah, it starts from.
You understand? Like I'm only 31, so for my mom to be showing me different things, like I'm going to teach my daughters, obviously, but like like The Time to Kill. You ever seen that movie?
Yes.
My mother showed me that when I was 8.
Yeah. I've never seen it. Never heard of it.
A Time to Kill. You had to see it. Amazing movie. Very good movie.
I agree that you can't.
It comes from home. She used to because she I'm sorry to cut you off, but she was like she majored in something in college, but she used to bring home all kinds of Black history books for us, and she used to talk about it. You understand? And show us how to keep our self-esteem up. Don't let no one degrade us. You get what I'm saying? It comes from home. So when someone's talking about, they don't have confidence or they self-esteem is low, it comes from home.
It definitely does. And it could stem from just a parent telling the child, oh, you're ugly. Like I've heard people telling their dark-skinned kids, oh, you're so ugly. And it's like, how dare you? Besides the fact that that's your child and they came from you, how dare you tell, your child that they're ugly? Like I hear it all the time. So me personally, being a chocolate child, I've been called tar baby and all that, and you can't tell me nothing about my complexion. I love it. So what I do is, when I see little babies, I pay it forward. Like I remember being like, 9 and 10, and I'm walking down the streets in Brooklyn, and people are like, oh my God, you're so pretty, and it's like, really? But you're not used to that because you're used to, the light skinned girls like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm pretty, whatever. I have my little naps, whatever. So you wouldn't think that. So now, as an adult, like when I see a chocolate child, a chocolate baby, boy or girl, it's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, you're pretty. Like, you got to pay it forward.
Yeah, that's the same. I just to piggyback off of what you're saying, it's like with my sisters and myself, like I was lighter than my sisters, right? So I grew up with that type of thing. But now with my daughter and myself, I tell her, because her brother always used to tell her, oh, you're dumb, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. And seeing that, I'm like, I know people told me about my skin. Like I had like little pigments on my skin, and people used to torment me, and it hurt. When I got older, let's say around 13, 14, one of the people that used to bully me and tell me about my skin started to like look at me and be like, oh, Nicole, you look nice and stuff. I'm like, remember when you used to tell me about my skin? Now you think I look nice? So with my daughter now, just that's an example. But now with my daughter, I tell her, listen, when anybody bullies you, it's not about you, it's about them. If anybody tells you that you're ugly, it's not you, it's them. It's what they feel inside. You're pretty, you know that, and secure that, and just.
Well, for me, it was a different story. I was always teased for being white. So I used to have to play up for blackness, right? I know, it's funny now, right?
People still teasing you.
Growing up, I was the lightest one in the house, and my grandmother used to always tell me, you're white, like I'm white.
I mean,
but on the real though, I want to piggyback off of what Dazzle said. I think in school, you are spoon-fed Christopher Columbus came and the Pilgrims appreciated him and the Indians were cool with it. They broke corn and ate bread. And then when you get to college now, because college is when I had my first African American history class, it was like all that shit is a lie. And I was so shocked. When I tell you a culture shock, I was and I try to educate my son to the best of my ability, across the board. I try to be as equal as possible. I try to be as politically as correct, because the worst thing you could say is one thing and he'll just run with it and go, my mother said, and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But you want them to understand that, the world isn't perfect. But I like his mindset because he tries to bring a balance to everything. You can give him the history, but then when you sit down and speak with him, he'll try to find a positive about the situation. So I appreciate that about him, that he's open-minded and knows how to balance it out. And he watches a lot of Japanese movies too, but that's a different story. But yeah, I understand totally where Dazzle's coming from, because that has happened to me, where it was a huge culture shock when I got to college. It was just like, and it was a white teacher who was teaching us African American history, and she was just like, yes, children, this is your history and you should learn. And we learned about Caribbean history because you don't get that when you're in America. You don't learn about West Indian history. So it was interesting to learn about that. And I always took it upon myself to learn about Vincentian history, about Chateaubriand and all the rest of them.
Because
so, I mean,
you have Vincentian parents too, so that helped.
Yeah, that helped a lot. But I mean, even my parents, like in college at this point in time, I was just investigating on my own, like what suits me. So I'm like the radical in certain aspects because I don't even follow traditional Christian religion. So it's like I'm absolute, you know what I'm saying?
But that's just like my daughter too, because being that, you know, I'm Caribbean descent. Now Janine takes herself as a Trinidadian or a Caribbean. She never says she's an American. And as Frankie was saying, it starts from home, because if I didn't teach them anything about my culture or take them to Trinidad or have them go to the carnival, which they want nothing of anymore, to go over there because of, you know, the amount of people and stuff like that. But it does start from home. If you don't teach your kids from home about their culture, then going outside, they're not going to know how to act. You know what I mean?
Nikki,
yeah.
I'm sure that if President Trump was to still be President Trump in 10 years, your children would not claim America either.
Nobody would claim America.
My daughter is all Trinidadian.
My oldest is from a previous relationship, and she swears up and down she is Guyanese and Trinidadian, okay? And her father's a full-blown American.
Oh, Scott buddy.
But the same thing Jacko was saying. If you're not taught in school, right? If you're not taught in school, and let's say you're not taught at home, and then you go to your college and all that stuff, yes, it's going to be a culture shock.
I was trying to show it.
To learn that. So like, the pepper sauce.
Yeah.
But no, the green seasoning. I don't do pepper sauce. They go have a heart attack.
That's green seasoning. That's
what I do.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but I mean, seriously, like growing up in New York City, most of my teachers were Black, and that's a surprising factor. Like most of my teachers were Black, so I mean,
but it's
my mother.
But they have to go by the curriculum, exactly.
Yeah, they have to go by the curriculum. Yeah. But I've had teachers that used to always say, "You don't know where you came from," or blah blah blah. Well, damn right, I don't know where I came from. Tell me. At that point, it's not Black History Month anymore. It could be May. It could be December. You can take the time out to say something if you're teaching history, if you're teaching this, that, and the third. Like, regardless of what the curriculum is, like if I came up in a house where my mother wasn't the most intellectual. She was a great person. She was a very kind person. But to say like my mother went to college and she had her doctorate degree, no, I didn't get those type of conversations. My mom used to cook. That was about it. I could cook. That's what I got from her. Not everybody goes through that, that stage
everybody
where
gets different experiences with their parents, period. But with the knowing of your background, and another thing coming with the Black History Month is the shortest month ever. That's BS. We have tons of history, and that should be taught all year round. And that's why I say it starts from home, because my child gets to learn something every month we'll do something different and towards learning her history.
There was never, not once in 12 years in high school, junior high school, elementary school, that I've learned something positive.
It depends on the teacher.
Yeah,
I will give you that one. Because I had a couple of teachers that I will tell you this. I'm 31. My 5th grade teacher is the man who taught me to go and reread what I'm supposed to know about myself. He will show me in the direction to go. That's a book that you need to go read.
And that's a teacher.
That's what I'm talking about. He didn't have to go by the curriculum, but he guided you in the right direction. Like, okay, I can't teach you this because this is what my job consists of, but go read this book. I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but
I didn't get that until I was sitting in the barbershop.
I mean, but you're not going to get that. Like Chandel said, you're not going to get that until you get to college. When you take African American history, unfortunately, they control the schooling and what we learn. I mean, you can't blame the teacher. You can't blame anybody else.
Because in elementary school, I went to a predominantly white Jewish elementary school, and I learned about Hanukkah and Jewish history. The
Holocaust.
But you learn about that in regular school. You learn about that in public school. You learn that in public school, but they were a lot of the teachers also. That's what you learn, because I learned that in public school. I probably know more Jewish history than I know about our own history.
And I learned how to make dreidels, and I learned how to make potato latkes. That shit is good with some applesauce.
What school you went to?
I went to PS 279.
Who?
PS 279.
279. Oh, okay.
What up, Sniper? You gonna say something else other than that?
Nah, you know, I'm very new to this this whole Zoom situation. So even when I was talking, I thought I was just talking and nobody wasn't hearing me. So I just said, all right, let me listen.
You have the floor, Sniper. Go ahead.
No. I'm listening. You know, but I mean, I hear some points, and honestly, the truth, the biggest thing I say, because even up to now, when we had these type of conversations, you can't really blame the school system. Who I really blame the whole system, it comes from home, as everybody was saying, it's the parents. But at the same time, I understand. I know my parents, they was taught to come to America and work. You know what I mean? So, you know, that experience to know really the true situation of, they wasn't giving that to me. It's only until when I got to high school and I had a Bayesian Rasta guy, and and for history you don't want to have a Caribbean person because majority of them are gonna tell the truth. So somebody said it. I don't know who said it, but someone said it. But it was like, all right, they said what was in the book, and the next part it was like, okay, well listen, the truth is this. Like Christopher Columbus, we was taught that for how many years?
Yeah.
Taught that for how many years? To come to find out that was a lie. Yep. Then I had to start questioning about everything else. What else is a lie?
That's real. Yeah, it's true.
And they're still teaching it.
They are, and guess what? I was, you know, so I'm sorry to cut you off, but my mom taught me about the BS between Christopher Columbus and all that other shit. And when I went to school, I was like, well, my mother taught me this. And everybody would just stop, and the teacher would leave, like shaking his head, because he was like, I know you know the truth, but I got to teach this. You get what I'm saying?
The curriculum. Yep.
But that's sad that we get lied to, and then we have to like learn all over again in life that, you know, we've been lied to. Like white people, their history, they're not lied to from jump.
Dazzle, you in the toilet? It looks like you're in the toilet, Dazzle. Sorry.
In RCM Studios, okay?
Oh. Looks like you was reaching for the toilet tissue. Sorry.
Oh no, not the toilet tissue. Get me out of here.
Put you on blast.
Definitely, I know one. The one how I really started to notice about a lot of lies in this whole history. Even with the Christopher Columbus, when I first heard that, what song was it? I think it was Burning Spears, when you say Christopher Columbus is a down blasted liar. From there, I started really looking into certain things, like, okay, but everybody used to call me Christopher Columbus because my name is Chris. I started looking at it like, okay, why are they calling this guy a liar? And I started hearing what's ifs, ands, and buts. I'm listening to wolf culture. I'm hearing the truth. I'm like, oh, nah. Something is wrong, you know what I mean? But I've been listening to culture from since junior high school, which is eons ago. I don't even know.
Sniper is a thief, man.
Oh, liar.
Yeah. Nah, but you know, from what I'm hearing right now, it's a lot of knowledge, and there's truth in this whole situation, you know. Sorry for the whole beer. You know, we quarantining right now. You know, you see a lot of gray and everything else.
Yo, everybody got the Moses look. That's what I call it, the Moses look.
I know.
All y'all missing is a staff.
Yo, if I put a cap on, I look like the dudes from Boys in the Hood, yo.
Oh my God. I just shaved mine this morning.
Oh, you shaved yours this morning?
I shaved mine this morning. I put some V on it. It's gone now. I'm back to looking like a woman. Hey, Fifth!
I know. If anyone wants to unmute themselves, and you can also, I know a few people new to the chat. So we have where you can text. You can, on the right-hand side or right below you, you'd see something that says chat. So you could text there if you want to text people in the group to say anything. If you have any questions and you want us to, you know, you're shy and you don't want to show yourself, you could text in there. and we'll read it out to you. If you just want to say hi, you know, unmute yourself, please, because I don't know if or who wants to talk. Hi, Fifth.
So why Bane looking like she just like she a picture? Oh, okay. Now she shook her head. All right.
And if you want to send anybody individual, like let's say if you want to send Chandy and myself a message, instead of where it says 2, you could just click on our names and send us a message there.
So, and if you're now tuning in, we are discussing what we were supposed to be discussing. Why does the Arab man own stuff? Why does the Chinese and the Jew own stuff, but Black people don't own anything? And we just kind of went real left field into the history of Black people not liking Black people, Black people not supporting one another, you know, and that tends to be.
That's what it was about?
Can I just jump in?
But you know that also comes from you know, from home. That's the truth how I say it, because I always say that same thing. Like even like right now, I mean, this whole Corona situation, I'm not gonna sit here and just blame Asian or Chinese people or what, you know.
You can't Trump did
it. Yeah. However, you know,
you have to blame people from China.
From China. See, and a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way, that they blaming Chinese or they blaming whatever else. But then now, at the same time, look what's going on now that in the Caribbean. Who are you to blame in the Caribbean?
They're imported cases. That shit is driving me up a wall.
Yeah. You know what?
First of all,
imported.
Let's say like this. In St. Vincent, I was reading something where they said reported cases.
Mm-hmm.
What, nine people? Something like that. They said Trinidad had some cases.
Yeah.
They said Guyana has some cases and some deaths. Majority of the people in these places are Black people. So
well, before it wasn't Black. Before it was just Chinese and everybody else.
Yeah, remember they said Black people was immune to the corona. They can't catch corona.
They lied to us. That was the trick. That was a trick to catch us.
And then the 5G. The 5G did it. Like, it's so many different stories.
It's media. But could I just jump back for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just jump back to the history thing. So if you look at the word history itself, is his story, right?
I'm sorry, Jinx, not to cut you, but you sound like the voice of God, and people are like, "Where are you?"
Yeah, could you show yourself?
Can you show us your face, or thank you.
Moses. So my thing here is it says it in the word history itself, his story.
His story.
If Sniper and I are to go out, right, and we both witness the same thing, he tells a version, I tell a version. It's our version of what happened, right? So what they decide to teach us is their version. You could call them liars. You could say it's not the truth. You could say it is the truth. You could argue it. You could debate it. The question is, what have you done to educate yourself on your own history? Right? Everybody's saying, well, didn't teach it to me. Why are we always waiting to be spoon-fed something? Yeah, okay, I got to go to school to say I got a degree so that I can go out and get a job. There's nothing that stops any one of us in this call right now from going out there and getting our own education. If you guys all, which I'm sure we all watched Higher Learning, but you remember at the end of that movie, it said, learn to unlearn. You understand what I'm saying? You got to do your own research. You can't depend on everybody to do the work for you. This stuff is documented. It is out there. What are you doing to educate yourself? You guys living in New York City, a lot of people will walk past some of the Muslims or whatever and be like, I ain't hearing this shit. And just, they got a lot of good information because you know what? I read it correct. My best friend is Muslim.
So we don't,
My best friend is Muslim. I read the Quran just to educate myself and see, what is this guy reading about? What is he learning? What are they teaching him? What is different? And I remember being in leaving Jersey. Yeah, it is. It's very different, but it's funny because the Quran will reference certain verses, passages, stories from, I don't want to necessarily say from the Bible, but from that era.
From like
And it's
Genesis,
not
from the
done
First
in
Testament.
reverse. It's not done in reverse. So I don't want to, two things I don't like talking about is politics and religion, because that's just horrible.
Yeah, it gets.
But I remember I was maybe about 8 or 9 years old, and I was leaving Jersey, driving back to Montreal. And, you know, on Sunday mornings, they always have some religious talk show going on or whatever. And we were listening to this show coming back, and I will never forget them talking about the colors of certain individuals from those days, Moses, Jesus, and they were saying that, you know, this one wasn't white and this one was black. But in certain versions of the Bible, this is what you will read. This is the picture that they paint for you. We have to go out and learn and get that information ourselves. I can't depend on the teacher at school. He's just going to teach me what he was told to teach me. Who gave him that? Some old white man that died 100 years ago.
But at your age now, you know that.
I'm
But
not
when you were in
trying to
school
cut
back
you,
then,
Jinx, but I
That's
definitely,
actually false.
I'm like in the Matrix.
Sorry, Shandy, I don't want to cut you off, but Nikki, I was very fortunate. I had this one Trinidadian teacher. His name was actually Mr. Blackman. And this guy was absolutely amazing. But he was an old Caribbean man in his Caribbean ways that he would teach the curriculum, but he made sure that there was a Black history class. He taught it to Black, white, any race student. It was mandatory, not just in February for the month. It was mandatory for a semester. It was we called it in high school, it was options, but it wasn't an option. You had to do it, but it wasn't like a main subject like math or English or whatever.
he
You
took it
learned
upon
it for
himself.
3 months, and he taught. And he made sure that they recognized it, and he had to teach it. It
But
had to be taught.
you see why I'm saying or what I said. Now that you can tell us this, but there are people who are not as fortunate as you. So
Oh yes, I
let's
agree.
say hypothetical, I didn't have that type of brought up and I went to like a school that just taught us how to do Muslim stuff or whatever. When I come out of that, then I meet someone like you and you're like, Nick, you know what? You need to read X, Y, and Z and show me the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, but I think it was Dazzle that was saying that he had a lot of Black teachers that would tell him certain things. But this individual, Mr. Blackman, he made it a point and a duty for him to get the board to understand the importance of it. And he made sure. So if you had that Jewish teacher that taught you about making potato latkes in, you know, whatever class it was, he made it a point because he found it was important to have his culture taught.
Exactly.
So I also believe it is the responsibility of the teachers, just as well as depending on the human being. I have a duty and a right to society. It's just, what do I choose to do with it?
Yes,
If
Junior
they
Gang.
chose to just
Yes,
say,
Junior Gang.
It goes back to
I'm just going to show up and I'm going to teach the book. Maybe that teacher didn't care. Maybe he just wanted his paycheck and wanted to go home and, you know, eat pork grinds on his couch. I don't know.
No,
Some of them
but you
actually
see, it's also the exposure, Jinx, because how it is in Montreal versus here in New York. I'm going to speak from being raised in Brooklyn. You know, at a certain point, students were real destructive in class, and teachers was leaving the class, like literally leave the class and drop this. But I'm getting paid anyway, regardless if you want to listen to me or not. Some teachers had that attitude, and these are Black teachers, Black and white teachers, because the students became very disruptive and disrespectful. And, you know, me, I came from a different kind of home. I couldn't be disrespecting my teacher. I'll get licks for that. So I wasn't even trying to hear that. There were a few Caribbean teachers that were there that would get that respect from the students because they knew at the end of the day, their mother would get a phone call.
I had a Jamaican teacher that used to beat kids. Miss Murray, she used to beat kids. She didn't care. She acted like she was in school.
But it goes hand in hand with the thought process of what's being taught at home, the mannerisms at home, what's the availability of the parenting, because I'm a person who believes in a two-parent home, even though whatever the situation is, I think it's strong to have that factor because that also plays a role in how you raise a child. That's another thing. For me, I'll always go back to college. I think when I went to college, everything opened up for me in a different light. Yes, I had the tools in front of me, but let's be real, when you're in high school, you're not studying, let me get my Black history on. You're studying what's being taught to you in school because you have to pass the Regents, and that's your concern. Passing that Regents so you can get your diploma and go on to the next level. It's when you're in college now, it's like, yo,
Chandy, you're freezing.
Free reign versus now is different. Now
fast, you freeze.
Oh God, sorry.
That's Canarsie Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yep, that Canarsie Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi. I got digital Wi-Fi. That's why they going bankrupt.
You got that yourself.
But
I hear what you're saying.
What I'm gonna say is
what I'm hearing, but all I'm saying is what I'm hearing.
For real or not?
No, you were.
No, I can't.
When you were moving, you're freezing, so you gotta like stay one place.
Okay, so I'm gonna stay one place. So
but
what I'm saying is this.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is this. In college, I felt more freedom to do as I wanted to do, especially when it came to my education. I was learning I learned all my life, don't get it wrong, but my focus was different. My focus was to get the diploma to go to the next level. And then when I finally got to that next level, it was, I want to learn why the Muslims think this way. So I took Muslim study classes. I learned about the Sharia laws. I learned about that. Then I took African history, where I learned about Black history, and I learned about our culture. Then I learned, because I already knew about the Jewish history, because I told you in elementary school I was taught those things. So I looked at the similarities and the differences, and it molded me into the person that I am. So now it is me, and it goes back to what you said, Jinx. As a parent now, it's up to me to decide how am I going to raise my child, what information am I going to give my child for him to carry through it. But I don't want to be that parent where my kid walks in, well, my mommy said this is what happened and Christopher Columbus was a lie. I mean, I've tried to explain it to him in a nice way so he won't be that student, because that student also becomes a disruptive student, because then that student becomes the know-it-all student, you know what I'm saying? And I don't ever want that for him either, but I want him to have that balance. And I'm glad he has that balance. And the thing what I'm also getting at is kids these days, you can't really hide anything from them. They do the research on their own. That's what Google did. They do it on their own.
But that's good.
I want to tell them they'll find out on their own.
Good.
It's good. It's a two-edged sword, because if you're trying to shield them from a lot of things, well, not a lot of things, but if you're trying to shield them from things that could traumatize them, they're being exposed. They have videos now. They have written material. So if they don't want to they don't want to read the written material, they can watch a whole YouTube documentary on what happened and actually see some footage of people getting shot.
Your Wi-Fi
How you parent, because there's so much exposure.
She's in freeze frame.
Am I frozen again?
But Chandy, you're right. But that goes back to parenting. You sound like a robot.
Right. What I was saying is you can't even be a parent.
No, you're just
somebody take a snapshot.
Screenshot. Freezing.
Yeah. Get a screenshot.
Wait, y'all said that's Jinx, the Jinx that's always playing a mix on Boom Station?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Jinx. I always hear the mix. I'm like, who the hell is this Jinx person?
That's
now I can put a face to it.
But I don't know. I wasn't afraid of my
Yo, Sniper grew, eh?
Huh? Yeah.
No, Sniper calling me Junior Gang, man. I said my hair grew, man. Shit is long.
It really did.
No, it's me. It's Dazzle. I'm calling you Junior Gang.
Oh, yo, Dazzle, cool, man. Where did Chandy go? Chandy left.
She's right here.
I agree with Chandy. Shandy's right. Yeah. Chandy is right. I hear what she's saying. I want my kids to learn. I challenge them to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to go out and watch that stuff, but ask questions. You know what I mean? And I will teach them, yes, you have to, in the schooling system, you have to follow that curriculum. Doesn't mean that it's right, but if that's what they want to hear, you sit down and that's what you tell them.
And explain to them, yeah.
Yeah, but then you run into this wall of, but you're lying. You run into that wall, but Mom, you're lying, or you're teaching me to lie. And it's just like, no, you're not. You know, it's so weird. It's really weird.
You see, Kyle is very smart too. So your experience with Kyle compared to everyone else's experience with their kids might be different. With my kids, I let them grow up and do the things and get that exposure that they need. There's so much that you could restrict them from, you know, because once they leave the house, they're gonna experience that outside. So I didn't shield my kids as much as some other parents would do. Once they were ready to learn something, you know.
100%. There's not really much we can shelter them
Not
from
too
nowadays.
much you can do, yeah, and how you raise them too. I wasn't afraid of what my kids would find out there because I raised them in a certain way. Once they get through that house, the rule of my house was, you want to listen to your rap music? In your ear, if it's cursing, I don't want to hear no cursing in the house. That's just an example. That's how I raised them. So till now, like my son is 21. He knows, do not come in this house with the rap music blasting because I don't want your sister. Well, that was my excuse. I don't want your sister to hear, you know, F this and F that. So that's the only thing that I had in my house. As far as education goes and all that stuff, I mean, whatever they learned and whatever I taught them, I didn't grow up here. My education system wasn't here. It was in the Caribbean. So I learned a lot of Caribbean culture and stuff like that over there, you know? Who's the dark
All right. You know, I hate to do this, but I just realized it's 9:47 and the show finishes at 10.
Almost 10
so
already.
I want to go into the relationship topic.
Real quick. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody wanted to do like a quick shout out for this last segment because we're going to cut the segment here. Jinx already spoke on the relationship segment, so he can give a refresher for those who missed it. Shiloh, I don't know if you want to say something. Shiloh, do you want to say something before we close off this segment? No? I know Shiloh want to say something, but it'll be too controversial. I'm quite sure of it.
Lord.
So, Jinx. Okay, so for those of you who missed the relationship topic, and it's also posted on our Watch Chubble page, the topic is letting, have you ever let a good person slip away because you weren't ready for a serious relationship? Yes or no, and why?
What about that other person letting, anyway, go ahead.
Jinx, you can start us off. No, you could just give a quick recap, a 2-second recap.
Cadell, your Fifth, your mic is off.
Fifth is trying to talk?
Oh, right, shucks, yeah. My bad.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I said at the time, I was 19. I was in a 3-year relationship, and I wanted to play myself because I have a philosophy that I want to do everything when I'm young. So when I'm older, I won't have that much temptation to do it. So when I actually do get serious, I basically did it already. And she was a good girl. Just she wasn't the right girl for me at the time. I played myself. Trust me, played myself. So
but
what do you mean she wasn't the right girl for you at the time?
I wanted to play myself.
You wanted to be a hoe,
basically. She might have been the right girl, but it's just that you wanted to play around.
I wanted to be a hoe. Simple.
I mean, honestly, being an adult now, I think that in your teens and your early 20s, you're supposed to. You're supposed to explore and know what you want, what you don't want. So, and in all honesty, you did it the right way. I mean, you know, when we're teenagers, we want to be like, oh my God, I'm so in love. And I get it. It's our first love, our first relationship where you feel like, oh, you got to be so, I don't know, committed. But in all honesty, you're not married. You really shouldn't be committed. You should be exploring and seeing, you know, different options, what you like, what you don't like, who you don't like.
That's a big fact.
So at what age would you say you should have, not quote unquote really committed, but technically committed to one person?
30. I'm 35 now.
Look on his wife.
Baby.
This woman is the one who ran away and then she came back. That's the wife.
What is that?
That's what Jinx said.
Jinx said he told his woman to go away because he wanted to be a hoe too.
Shandy, I never told her to go away, man. You're making me sound like a bad guy now.
But it's your wife. Ultimately, you married her. But he said he knew from jump that was going to be his wife.
Honestly, like seriously, if I was still living in Trinidad, I might have been with that person right now.
But go marry her and bring her up.
Trinidad. Huh?
She was a good woman.
I know.
She broke her heart. What makes you think she wants to come back with him again?
True. An opportunity to be in America.
The way I moved to, oh Lord, that was our next headache by itself. Because when I got my green card, I didn't tell anybody.
You did shit. You did.
I did shit. I didn't tell anybody when I get my green card.
But he's young. Don't apologize for it. You're young. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. If not, oh well.
I ain't saying sorry. I just see I did shit.
Yeah.
Shandy, we are supposed to be in a safe place right now, and you can't be criticizing him like that.
Yes.
Go on
you see her facial expression.
Don't criticize
anyway, as I was saying,
Shandy, I'm not coming back.
Dirty. I ain't even going front because I got my green card and I came home one day.
Computer.
Huh?
And then you left?
Frozen, eh?
I didn't leave. I came home one day. I tell my mother, I said, I'm leaving you just now. I tell my stepfather, I say, I'm coming in your country just now. And I look at her and say, me and you ought to talk.
That was cold.
It was, but he was young. Oh well, she'll get over it.
I wasn't going to talk about it before it happened.
Damn.
That's true.
That's
I mean, maybe he wasn't the right one for her. I mean, it happens. Shit happens.
But everything I'm for a reason, because right now, that girl, oh my Lord, I kind of happy I get rid of she.
Exactly.
No, because you probably broke her heart and turned her into a hoe.
No, he didn't break her heart. That's what she was. Exactly. That's probably how she was. It's okay. She's supposed to be. Is she 30 yet?
Certain relationships trigger off the whole mechanism. I just want to say that.
I'm mad she keeps saying, is she 30 yet, though? Really?
I mean,
you get your heart broken.
She'll be all right.
Triggers. You get your heart broken. It triggers certain things.
Shandy.
Yes.
Too much emotion going on over there, man. Like, you were having a girl or something like that. And you found your way up to New York and found Fifth.
Yo.
You asked the question, he shared his emotion and his story, and you over there judging him.
I didn't mean to judge you. I'm sorry. Sorry.
If anybody know me and Shandy always going back and forth, that's nothing new.
No, Shandy just being an emotional female. That's all. She's thinking about it on a female perspective.
No, even in the boom chat, me and Chandy always arguing. It's a regular thing. Me and Chandy always going back and forth.
That's them Aries and Virgos. Y'all both crazy. It's okay.
Oh wow.
Not Aries and Virgos, really?
Always button heads.
No, that's on personal.
Shandy, what's your story? Tell us your story since you got so much to say.
Do I have a story? I don't know. I was okay. Yeah, I probably have a story. I was sitting there thinking about, or two, or three, maybe even four.
When she broke the guy's heart. Mm-hmm.
Why? Wait, Dazzle have his finger on his nose, like.
That's them red women. Them red women. You broke the man's heart. Go ahead, red women.
Shandy not red. Shandy white.
Red woman broke the man's heart. What you did, red woman? Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I broke some hearts, not intentionally.
Amplified red woman.
For me, okay, so I broke somebody's heart. There was a very good potential relationship. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was in my early 20s, and this guy like walked on water for me, and was willing to marry me and everything.
Was he?
The backup singer was.
Listen, anywhere we had to go, we was up in that car before she had her car. But go ahead, girl.
But
you must smell the rats.
I'm not gonna lie. See, I'm talking about the next one. That one, he broke my heart eventually. But anyway, I turned him away. I never entered the relationship with him, and I said to him, I said, I'm kind of too broken to be with you. I would rather be your friend, and we can continue as friends as opposed to.
Yep, she friend zoned him, and you ain't never getting out of friend zone.
Don't judge me.
I didn't judge you. I just asked the question.
You friend zoned him? I'm not gonna lie. I did friend zone him, and I kind of felt bad after the fact because now that we look at our lives, he always throws it back in my face. He's like, "Oh, these are my kids. This could have been yours if you had played your cards right, but you friend zoned me." And I'm not upset that I friend zoned him because he's an integral part in my life. And I think if we had entered into a relationship together, I might have damaged him or broke him in a different way, or he might have done it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. What if you guys would have been damaged together?
You never know, but I love the friendship.
I'm always
that we have
seeing your
now.
WhatsApp
Like, I
post
really
about,
admire
there's
the
no
friendship.
good men out there, and the truth is, you turned them away.
I did know, and I'm not gonna lie. There was another one who I loved eventually. I'm not gonna lie.
Three, four.
I friend zoned him.
This is gonna be a long show.
I friend zoned him at the wrong time, honestly speaking, because as Mo said, he was willing to do anything I wanted, anything, but I wasn't interested because he drove a van. I was just like, what are you doing? I want
a van with no back seats.
Typical red girl.
Typical, that amplified red, typical materialistic.
Typical. The man have 4 wheels and a brake. And you know what, man, because it's a van and not a drop top. Look at you.
But it was a van with no back seat. It only had like one back seat. But she was young and she was supposed
Yeah,
to.
but the van have front seats. So them in front.
About me?
Huh?
Maybe, talking about me?
Maybe he was trying to send a hint. That he just wanted to be just him and Shandy.
Shandy, somebody asked if you're talking about them.
That was a kidnapping van. That's what that van looked like.
Listen,
wasn't
the man had
kidnapping. Man
gas
wanted to
in
get
it.
personal.
He had gas in it. It started and it run. That's all that matters.
The man wanted to get personal. He making sure the only option he had was in the front.
The front seat. That's Mo. I always had the front seat. Everybody else had the back seat. It didn't matter.
But there is no back seat.
Because he did upgrade to a van with seats. Eventually, he did upgrade to a van with seats.
Wow.
Yo.
But it's sad. It's sad when Peter gotta pay for.
No, you know what's so crazy?
Hold
you know what's so crazy? That Shandy talking about me in third party.
I knew that was coming.
Well, let me find out Sniper like,
Wow.
Shandy, really?
That's what I was wondering.
I knew that was coming.
Really, Shandy?
On Seaview Avenue.
Wow, that's crazy, Shandy. Why you
Shandy-
treated Sniper like that?
Chandy, is the man upgraded a man with back seat and he still didn't get through? So he was never going to get through then.
Now he upgraded to Lexus, actually. No joke.
That was before or after you?
He upgraded to Lexus after I done friends on him, but he would still come out and buy me all kind of shit for my birthday. He would come and treat me. It was after the fact. It was like after, I'll kid you not, like maybe after 2 years into the friend zone, he had a girlfriend. He got a girlfriend. And then I was just like, yo, I fucked up. He's really incredible.
Genuine, yeah.
But that's the law. That's the laws of the land. I feel like that's just the way life is always going to be. I mean, I call it I call it laws of the land, but it's always going to be, you know, someone will want you so bad and you're just not interested in them, no matter what you do, no matter what they do. And then when you do finally become interested in them, like they're like, yo, I'm over it. I'm done. I don't even want you anymore. So unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like for me, I feel like, you know.
He wasn't like that though. In that case, I ended up being the side piece, but that's a different story.
Oh God! Next topic. Next
so
Wednesday
you're
topic.
That's a different topic.
I'm not
next Wednesday topic. Side piece. Next Wednesday topic.
The worst thing is when somebody is really, really, really into you and you're running after something that is not worth running after, you know?
No, but at the time you're not seeing that. You're not going to realize that it's not something that's worth running after.
No, but it's
too late. You know what they call that?
Sometimes
what they call it,
but you just can't help yourself.
They call that idiot.
It's affairs of the heart. You can't help it.
No, it's called broken.
You can't help
wood.
who you like.
That's what it's called.
It's called good wood. Good wood would keep you in a bad relationship.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Pepper sauce. Pepper sauce.
Sorry, Shandy, I can't relate.
You don't know about that. But I remember dumping someone because I was too young, just like what Mo said. We were dating, but he ended up saying that he had to go away. His parents, you know, sent for him or whatever. And I was like really distraught. So at that time, I think a year passed or whatever, and then someone else came along. And my parents didn't allow me to date when I was like 18, 19 or whatever. So when I finally dated, it's like I went hey crazy because I was able to date someone else. And I just told him, you know what? it's not gonna work out. Over the phone, I told him, because he was over here and he had already asked me to marry him and stuff. And I was like, you know, I end up dating someone else, and it broke his heart. And up till actually recently, I mentioned his name or whatever, that he would have been the right person for me, you know.
At least you didn't friend zone him.
No, I didn't. I didn't friend zone him, but I did friend zone one person who went to sell hot dogs. I was like, I couldn't handle that. I could not handle somebody with a cart, but I was young. Nothing ever happened.
Killing me right now.
I was just too young for that.
Because Nikki, you're not a red woman. You're light skinned, but you're not a red woman.
Yo, Fifth, you hear what's going on?
That.
Fifth, you hear what's going on? One got friend zoned because he had a van with no back seats.
Mm-hmm.
The other one got friend zoned because he stole hot dogs.
Yeah, they're friends. Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, that's the way it is. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes we want the one that smells good and hair's always cut.
What, he doesn't smell like hot dogs? You're gonna hate against the guy, and then you're gonna say you don't support black business. Go buy a hot dog.
Exactly.
I mean, that's when you're young and dumb, not knowing that this hot dog stand could turn into a whole store.
The potential, yeah.
That hot dog man can still give you money to take to school, but we're not thinking that. You want back in the Caribbean, you want the van man. You want the man that's on the van that's playing the loudest music.
Be specific, the van that have back seats.
That was it.
She had the van man.
I'm talking about Caribbean maxi van, the mini bus.
The maxi.
The bread van with no seats.
Oh my gosh.
Chandy, the man trying to get the Caribbean feel they didn't want it. They wanted the Lexus.
I wanted the Lexus.
And look where that get you.
You can't drive the Lexus now.
Is there anybody else who wants to tell a story?
I don't know.
Team Happiness. Anyone who's on mute, you can unmute yourself unless you want to put in the chat where you could type something if you don't feel like talking.
Shiloh, let's hear you, Shiloh. You're mighty quiet today, Shiloh. Unmute that mic, Shiloh.
Shiloh, you have a whole bunch to say.
Shiloh, don't let these women and them bring you into the back and all, you know.
His fiance not in the room.
No,
fiance in the room.
No, guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Give us a good story. Give us a good story about how you put a chick in the friend zone because she had a bicycle.
A bicycle?
No,
because no, she bundles not good enough.
Had training wheels.
Well, I won't say friend zone. I mean, I did went through. It was kind of her, and then my fault at the end. Very similar to what Fifth said, but not the same exact thing. I was like, getting ready to leave St. Thomas, man, and bounce up here. And I basically just told I'm going to go visit. I did not say I was going to stay.
Damn, grimy.
You was me. I thought I was going.
Nah, I just said I'm going to visit, man. Like, going to visit, check it out in New York. I'll be back, And got to New York and that New York vibe with, like, seeing I left the islands, even though, St. Thomas is part of the U.S., but I left the islands. Came here.
You found a fast-ass Brooklyn chick.
met a lot of Caribbean people. So everybody was doing the very similar things to me. Like you said earlier, thinking you're right. That whole little bull crap. Started working, going to parties and met a couple, Trini girls, Grenadian girls, and having some good time. And I just blank out. I just never start calling back. I stopped calling.
Wow.
And
How did the girls treat you?
I got this long ass voicemail, man. This long voicemail, maybe like 5 minutes long.
Did you cry? Or you didn't care?
I was kind of like surprised. No, I was surprised. I was like, what the, and then, I tried to reach out and I got like, she blackballed me, like stop answering the whole call and stuff. And then I was like, okay.
So where is she now?
I have no idea. The last I heard, that was a couple years ago. I know she was back in St. Thomas, and I heard she was up here. She was in the military, but she's married. She's married in the military.
Oh, nice.
Never thought she would actually went on the opposite side because she was very anti, like, white people. And then she went in the military and then saw she had a white man husband. And I was like, what the? I was kind of like a
boy.
Yeah,
they love them black girls.
That
bun this song serious, man.
Yeah,
That bun this song serious, boy.
I was a surprise, to be honest. I was like,
he was to marry.
I was like, what? So I was like, okay, probably she really wanted like the marriage thing, and that kind of like just humbled me a little bit on like certain processes of life and how to understand a woman, a little better. Than I'm the only boy with like 3 sisters, and they always taught me certain things about women. Well, I mean, I'm blessed today to have a beautiful fiance, soon to be married, but it's still taking my time. look at this person like rooting for me.
That's really good.
She's
Anyone else on mute would like to? Hi, we just saw someone just popped in here.
Bossy.
But watch this greedy bumbo and eating on the live. Yo, share some food now, man.
Who's that?
Sniper.
Sniper. Good night, Alicia.
Dazzle, you don't want him to share that food, man. It's chicken curry eating.
It's making people hungry.
Chicken curry.
No, the new person, Bossy, she was gonna say something, but she got chicken, I guess. No,
oh, no, you don't want to say anything?
No.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Team Happiness. Chandy, what time are we ending? At 10:30 or
10:15? Is 10:30 good for everybody or 10:15?
Don't matter to me. I ain't got nothing else to do.
Chandy, we talking bacchanal, man. You always want to go in your bed, boy.
No, boy. I'm just looking at it. I just work in the morning. All right, 10:30. 10:30.
No, let me
Tell us
correct
another
it, 'cause
friend zone
I
I'm
got
not
a
talking
piggy
bacchanal,
appointment
bro.
lined up, so I just killing time before he called.
What's your front?
With the guy in the Lexus? You call him that?
She's a side chick now, so that's another story.
I bet you come with the van with
I'm
no
going back
seats.
to wifey now. I'm done with that. My life is over.
And they still going out in quarantine?
Yo, did we have this topic a couple nights ago? If you have to run out for your piggy?
Yes or no? I don't care.
Yeah.
And I said yes. I ran out for my piggy.
Oh, okay.
She brave.
Sniper, why your eyes get so big?
If anything,
talking
we
about
just
you
put the
again?
mask on. We do back shots with the mask on. You know what I'm
Trying to
saying?
figure out who.
You guys actually collapse your lungs, with this mask.
Oh my God.
That's right, Shiloh. Let them know, Shiloh.
Who passed out wearing the mask? I almost passed out today. I'm not gonna lie.
That thing takes your breath away when you're walking fast.
Mm-hmm.
And up some stairs.
It really does. Yeah. Yeah.
I had 2 friends told that to me today too. They said they were walking and they normally walk up the steps fine, and they had the mask on and they felt like they were going to pass out.
Yep, that's why the girl took her mask off and the cop tried to beat her up. That's exactly what happened.
That is crazy.
I mean, I exercise in the park without mask on, but so far I've been fine. No cops harassing me or anything. So
I don't know. I don't think you should exercise with a mask on. I think you should put the mask on the side, like to sweat and.
People do, man. They work out. They run. They do everything with that mask.
So I mean, with the mask, really and truly, that's supposed to help your system. Like they actually have masks that people that exercise.
Yeah, it's a special breathing mask.
And technically, people who have asthma not supposed to wear it for long periods either.
Yeah.
And technically, the cops can't harass you anymore either because they're not allowed to give you summonses or arrest you for not wearing a mask anymore. Like that's a new.
What was this after they beat up the girl? What was this after they beat up the girl the other day on the train station?
After that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I see she continue improvising on this. Oh, beat up the girl. Beat up the girl.
Because they beat her up. That's right. And she's gonna get money. She's gonna get paid. So that's good.
Okay, so why don't you go out there and do the same thing?
Listen,
no, you don't want me to do that. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Don't care. I don't care. I'm not wearing a mask, and if the police want to bother me, they're gonna have to catch me.
But the thing is the mask is to protect you, it's supposedly.
Exactly. Because initially when it came. Exactly, because initially when it came out, it's supposed to be the person that's sick is supposed to wear a mask to make sure they're not spreading it to everybody. Now it becomes, okay, well, if you have to be out in public and you cannot social distance, then you wear your mask. That's what it's supposed to be. So now it's, everyone has to wear a mask. Why? If I'm social distancing and staying 6 feet away from everybody, why do I have to wear a mask?
Yo, Mo, you know what they call that?
What? Bullshit.
Idiot.
No, you still have people who, but you have to also take in consideration. Some people talk really loud and the spit travels. They would never admit to it, but the spit travels.
It's true.
And you don't know if that person is COVID infected, COVID free. You don't know their status.
Asymptomatic.
Maybe they're not talking.
That's my
Maybe if they're not
problem. And then
talking.
I'm thinking to myself, if that's the case, if we have to wear the mask, then we should wear a shield too, because when you spit, you get to see the spit on the shield. Like, I'm glad I wore my shield today because the spit is on the shield. You know what I'm saying? You run the risk still.
Shandy, it sounds like you have experience with boulders.
Hold on, boss. She has a whole hold on, did you make this?
What?
Yo, look at, she made her own.
Wait. Are you trying to say something? You trying to spit through the phone?
Nah, boss.
Oh, look at that.
Yo, you saw that, right?
This is my COVID hat when I got a supermarket, you know?
Nice.
No, I wanted to order that. It ran out. It ran out on Amazon.
Yeah, it sells out fast.
That is very unique. Yeah.
I'm so serious.
Who's that,
Amazon
Dazzle?
had it.
Everybody.
This lady had it.
Chandy, Nikki.
Yeah.
So I just want to bring to everyone's attention, I cut out the bending piece from the surgical mask, and all it is a tie that goes around the bread.
Yeah. No, seriously.
That's all it is.
Because
I said I wanted to see what it is. It's a tie that goes around the bread.
Not surprised
Okay,
at all.
good. Thank you. Thank you.
So bread tie supposed to save people life?
But this is where it becomes really crazy, because it's like, okay, you have to wear the mask, but now it's, oh, wear a bandana. So really, what is a bandana supposed to be saving
bandana
you
does
from?
absolutely nothing, and I think
It's
that's
not,
just the
because
point to
boulders
get your
is
ass
still
sick.
going through. The whole
I
thing
think it's the point to get your ass sick. I would not
Listen,
advise
I'm
anybody to wear the bandana.
I'm Team Shiloh right now. It's stupid. All it does is it weakens your immune system, and it's. I feel like it's causing more damage than it's doing any good. It's bullshit. It's just to make people feel a little bit better
My thing
mentally.
is, I have no problem who wants to, wear their thing, wear their mask, whatever, because each to his or own, but at the same time, me, I have my sense of direction with this thing. And I just believe I'm not going to wear a mask if I'm working out, if I'm in my house, if I'm driving my car.
In the car makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I see with the glass up, man, doing so much. To me, it's weird and it's stupid and really dumb. Like, and then when you go into the grocery store, sometimes they have the stuff below the chin. I'm like, what am I doing with this thing in my face? So I don't wear it. I have this collie that I play soccer with in the cold, so that's what I wear. I just put it in my stupid face just because, but I could breathe. I could.
Well, that's the problem. People not even wearing the mask properly. That's the next issue that I have. You're in a store, and it's just like what you said. People have the mask on their chin. They want to talk, and they talk, and it's defeating the purpose because the spit coming out your mouth still. You're clearing your throat. The snot coming out your nose and hitting. You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting. It's like you have to wear the mask just to cover your nose and your mouth, so I don't have to run the risk of you spitting on me or whatever the case may be.
And that's why they're telling everybody to wear masks too, because like it's not necessarily to depending on the type of mask you wear, but it's not necessarily to protect you, but it's to protect other people, because you got to remember some people are walking around and they're asymptomatic. They don't know they have the virus. So that's why they're telling everybody if you have to go out in public, wear the mask, because if that person is asymptomatic and they're talking and their spit or whatever is in the air, now you can get sick from it. So that's why they're telling people any type of covering that you have to wear, but it's not necessarily to protect yourself from while you're wearing it, but it's to protect other people from not getting it or whatever.
But when you're doing hard labor and stuff like that, it's hard to wear the mask because me personally, because I work at Target and I do the inbound, the offloading of the trucks, it's hard for me to wear that mask and be able to breathe. I can't breathe with that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So oftentimes I would have to pull the mask down under my chin so I could be able to breathe because I would pass out.
It's hard.
Amari cut the pretty boy picture, no man. All of we look like Bushman here.
I'm like, where's Amari?
I know, he just came in. But that's oh, go ahead, Jay. I thought Jay was saying something. Team Happiness. That's the other day I went food shopping, right? And I had the mask on. Fine. went in the car, taking out my groceries and stuff like that, put it in the car, and the guy decides to read me the regulations. And I'm like, I don't want to talk in this mask. You reading me the regulations for Uber. It's like they sent me the email already, and now he has me like this talking. It's like a good what? From my house to that place is like 20 minutes, you know? So I'm like, if you don't want all this all over your car, like just stop talking, because then I'll have to move it to talk. It's hard to be talking all the time and have that mask on, you know? Is Jay trying to say something? No.
I was wondering what happened to Fifth, because Fifth looked like he wanted to say something. He was just like smiling in the corner.
Fifth, you want to say something?
He muted. Oh.
He was stretching. Vane,
you have anything to say? Would you like to say something?
Vane is just here for moral support, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Vane, what's on Dazzle's shirt? Dazzle said, I see something on his shirt that says Vane. What is he promoting?
My beauty business.
Oh, I didn't know you had a beauty business.
I mean, I actually just didn't want to like come on this live shirtless, so I put a shirt
Show your
on.
shirt. Show your shirt, Dazzle. Show your shirt.
Oh,
where it looks beauty. Where.
Very nice.
Nice.
Where my jersey? You see, I can model look good. Look at my picture. Where my jersey?
Coming soon.
Once I catch the right angle, trust me, again, real followers.
So are we done and out of conversation, guys, or you guys want to add something else?
I'm
I
still
don't
waiting
think
to
anybody
get
else wants to
Sniper
get in
and the chick
trouble.
that he hurt.
Oh my God, nobody else want to get in trouble.
Sniper? Oh, Sniper not putting in his
Sniper just
headphones.
took a shit now. Give him a chance.
Where's Sniper? Oh yeah, over there.
Yo, every time you say Sniper name, Sniper turn around like it's like the introduction to one of those old ass sitcoms, yo.
Sniper went to the bathroom and came back. I thought he finished eating. No?
Sniper's still eating.
You just went to make more room.
Hold on. Hey, yo.
You just mute yourself. Oh, he said hold on. So
Going
everyone,
back again.
the videos that we make is on the YouTube page.
I didn't put
And we're gonna
anything on
post up some more. Well, the first episode that we ever did is on there now, and then soon enough we're gonna post up the others. You know, but we did highlights on Instagram where you could see little snippets of all the other videos that we did before. Like I think it's like 3 series.
Wait. All these videos with me looking like a bushman going on YouTube.
Yes, yes, it is.
They are going on YouTube, yes.
That's what everybody looking like a bushman.
No, but watch them too now. Nikki and Chandy here, well done. They sit up nice and pretty, and I over here look like a bush. Everybody else gotta look like bush people.
Look at my head, man. Look at my head. Bushman.
Why you feel like put my video on? You feel like do Set up, man, boy.
Sorry, you're on the other videos though. The other 2 series you're on.
Yeah, because I was looking good. I ain't looking good now.
Watch. I bet you if I call a certain somebody, you put your camera on in a heartbeat though.
Oh, call that somebody. Yeah,
somebody.
Call her, yeah.
Who's that somebody?
I'm already don't let Chandy body up, you know.
Drop names. Who's he somebody?
Chandy or
Start with an R. Start with an R.
Yeah, call she now, call she.
You see what I
Oh, Jinx left. I didn't even see him write the thing on the side.
He was on 3%.
Oh.
I missed it.
Wow.
So guys, it's 10 to 10:30.
Yeah, I have to go finish my cooking video.
Time to go and cook.
Any final words? Any last words until next Wednesday?
Sorry, I got in so late. You know.
It's okay. You don't have a curfew. It's okay.
Yeah.
Bossy, how did you hear about the show? Because I've never seen you before.
Oh, Vane. Me and Vane is business besties, so she's so weird.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Vane. Yeah, you get a clap for that. Enjoyed the show.
Yes, I did.
Very good.
Y'all started your business during COVID, or y'all started the business venture prior to COVID?
Prior to
Prior
COVID.
to COVID.
Great.
What is the business about?
I'm a fitness coach.
You're
Huh?
a fitness coach.
A
Okay.
fitness coach.
Nice.
Word? Dazzle, link up.
And who's Delicia? I didn't get to hear her for the night, but I see she's on here as well. I don't know if she wants to say anything. Okay. Delicia?
Oh, yeah.
Good night.
Good
I'm
night.
Nicole Person.
I hope you enjoyed the show. I don't know if you want to add anything before we head out.
No, just that although the mask stifling people, we still have to wear it. So you wear all your masks.
I like that. I appreciate that. You gotta clap. You gotta clap for that one.
Thank you.
Dazzle's gonna play some music for us. For those who wanna hear music.
I just want, before
As
we go into the music, I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out, who stayed with us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Nikki's going to take her time to edit this video, and I'm going to take my time to put up the video, you know, and we appreciate the conversation. We started a little late, but, you know, we got to learn to stop being on PT time. I'm just saying. Thank you again. And, you know, the takeaway from this is Black people need to support each other more often, especially when it comes to business ventures. The next takeaway is we should learn about our history, and it's very important to learn about who we are and where we came from and to know thyself. When it comes to relationships now, you know, all of us, I think at a certain point in time have had that one person that we truly knew was the right one, let them go.
Chandy,
Some of us fortunate, shut up.
For those who missed earlier, the summary.
Some of us were fortunate to actually stay with that person. Others were not. And, you know, we let them get away and you know, they are where they are, whether they be in Trinidad, whether they be pushing a shopping cart, selling hot dogs.
In a Lexus.
They're driving a bread van or a Lexus.
They're doing taxi now.
You know, at this point in time, all we can say is what's meant to be will be. Another takeaway is, you know, if you're a parent, this is like the early segment with the news. If you're a parent, you should try your best to keep your kids with you at all times and don't leave them to go to the bathroom by themselves. So you have to end up fighting for somebody who's trying to kidnap your kid. The groceries now, just know groceries are on the rise. So everybody just, you know, be cognizant when they're doing their grocery shopping. Take up your essentials. And if you could plant your own fruits and vegetables, then this is the time to do it while it's summer. You know, spring into summer is the best time to do it. Collect as much as you can and do what you can. Link up with your nearest farmer's market and do what you got to do to make sure that you have your things in stock.
I don't mean to interject, but I think Sniper needs help over there. He's being attacked.
The chicken choking him. The chicken choking.
Sniper, you okay?
Yeah, Sniper fighting 19 COVID over there.
I'm looking at him. I'm like, something could be happening, and we're like,
oh my God, we're in conversation for real. Oh, he's laughing.
Always,
yeah.
always
run the chicken, nigga. Run the chicken.
I'm seeing here. I was like, what is he fending up? She's ready for it, Sniper. Go. Bye, bye,
Right?
bye.
It looks like a porn. It really does look like a porn.
Sniper in real, man.
Never a dull day with Sniper. You know?
I see.
I'm like, what's going on here?
Yo, I just got boxed up.
Why?
Something he do.
Because he ain't share the chicken. He ate all that chicken by himself.
I thought he was about to take out Woody and shit. Sorry.
I know. He was like.
It really looked like a porn entry. Sorry. OnlyFans page going on right now. Oh, that's something we can discuss next week. That's something we can discuss next week. The lives that are getting out of hand now. Like, I went on to another DJ's live, and I saw nothing but booty, like real booty, like no censor for the booty.
Stop
It was
talking
just
about
real crap. Huh?
Stop talking about y'all.
No, I was just shocked. I was just in shock to see that.
Wasn't that like two months ago or something like that?
No, boy. This happened on Saturday. This chick just came on from California and was dancing, and her booty was out.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't turn it off though.
They did not
for
that
that.
off.
Like
And
last
she was
month,
stripping.
last
Like,
month they
oh,
blocked
no,
him for that. They're gonna do it
you
again.
can't do that here, but you seeing her crack and you just seeing the booty shake.
Oh my God.
See, you was watching it long enough to look.
I was just like, this is really happening.
Ciao,
But the lives are getting out of hand now. Again, the lives are going back.
It's going back because I know he was talking about it when yesterday somebody was asking.
Kevin Crown had asked. It was Kevin Crown was speaking to Roger, and Roger was saying, you know, Black people need to learn to respect themselves. There's a time and a place for everything, and I kind of agree with him on that one.
They can't help it. It's mental health, man. They bugging out.
I agree with him on that one. Because what Kevin Crown was just like, you know, I support the segment. What's the name of the segment? It was Puss segment. What's the segment? The light skinned DJ. What's his name?
I'm sorry.
Young Chow. Young Chow.
It's called the what segment?
It's skin out your cat.
No, skin out your hole, not your cat.
Skin out your hole on a Sunday.
Oh my God.
My bad. Skin out your hole.
It's skin out your whole Sundays. That's what he called it. It's just like when people say
on the Lord's day.
On the Lord's day.
Yeah.
You're skinning out your cat.
I mean, some people think the
Not
Lord's Day
the
is
cat,
Saturday.
Chandy, the whole.
It's like my whole day, so they use that the whole Sunday. Yeah.
But nobody really listens.
Never said cat.
But see, the thing is this, and we should be ending here, but I'm sorry, I just have to bring this point up. Kevin Crown said to Roger, you know, he respects the segment because it's entertainment at the end of the day. Roger's point was, you have to have women that need to learn about respecting themselves. Why should a woman feel like she has to shake her ass in order to get a forward? Why is it she can't learn there's a time and a place for everything?
Kevin Crown will always, not to song this way, but I mean, Kevin Crown, Rigo, those guys are friends. He will never say anything that's going to sound biased towards his friends. So
exactly.
I don't care what he said as BS.
Because I said to myself, I was like, that was Kevin Crown's daughter. You think he would not break up for showing her cat?
Exactly. Come on, that's bullshit, man.
I don't know. Kevin Crown daughter does some karate kick too, you know, she might kick him back.
But the point of the matter is, this is like, where do we draw the line? And I think I've been saying this for the longest. Where do we draw the line and say, yo, enough is enough? Like, okay, all right, sis, we get the point. You can shake your booty, but, you know, I know we in quarantine times, but come on, chill.
I think that's what he was saying. He was saying everybody's responsible for their own bodies, and they should know what they need to do and what they don't need to do. You know.
I mean, I think in general, society is based for some reason is sex driven, and everything for everybody has to do with sex. You understand? And I just think if we get to a place of just purity and a pure mind, and even just respecting females in a way where we just don't look at each other as sex objects, and even females looking at men as sex objects, that things would be a whole lot different. You understand? Like there will be a lot more respect for each other. Because to be honest with you, I think we influence each other in those kind of behaviors. Because some females feel like they don't get the respect from men if they don't do that. And then some men don't pay attention to females if they're not showing anything sexy. So it's just like, at the end of the day, it's one big cycle. But I think about
weird. Would y'all marry the chick that's showing her booty, or would you marry the chick that doesn't?
Exactly. They're not.
But for me personally, I don't look twice at women who do stuff like that. In all honesty, I don't really look twice at women. I'm a kind of person, I like my women to be decent, dressing, and casual or whatever the case may be. But I don't look at, like, even when I was on Instagram, I never follow people who all their pictures is they half naked and all that stuff. That was never me. I never liked those kind of pictures.
And it's unfortunate because in a time like this, everybody's trying to get creative, with their ventures or whatever it is that they're doing. So they're just looking at it at a standpoint from like, views, but they're not really considering the fact that these women are practically exposing themselves. Like at the end of the day, if you're a man who have girl childs, like you have girl children, then I don't understand how you would promote something of that caliber on your channel. Like, yes, I understand at the end of the day it's entertainment, you're an entertainer, but I just don't understand how you feel comfortable as a man allowing people to get on your platform and expose themselves and skin out their hole like that if you have girl pitney.
But how old was the lady? I mean, having a girl child don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, a man is
I
gonna.
mean, she's a grown woman, 25, 26, maybe
Okay,
23.
so she grown, so that ain't got nothing to do with him having kids. I mean, it is what it
but
is.
at the end of the day, would you want to see your daughter scan her hole on somebody's program?
I mean, my child is 16, so of course I would not.
If she was an adult.
However, if she was an adult, if that's what, first of all, my child would not be doing stuff like that because I taught my child better. But that is based on how they were taught her. I mean, I would dead ass gun, but let me see my child doing anything. I would gun put her ass. But that's just me. I'm not having that.
That's illegal, Mo.
I said at that age.
No, but to be honest with you, I think part of it too is people always try to blame the parents, but I think it has to do with the individual as far as their self-confidence. Because there's often times that, when I was growing up, my mother taught me better in a lot of things, but because I didn't have confidence in a lot of things, I was going around, running around with gangs and doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. And it's not because my mother's teaching, but I'm sure if I would have got caught somewhere, the first thing they would say, well, where's his mother or where's his father? But it's not, my mother didn't do anything wrong. You understand? So I think it has to do with also the individual of how confident they are in themselves and on if they know themselves. Because at the end of the day, your parent could teach you as much as you want, but if you don't have that foundation and that self-confidence, anybody could pressure you to do anything. And it doesn't even necessarily pressure, but you would feel like you need to do anything to get attention.
That's true.
That's true. There's a lot of people who are kind of like misguided. I know I was looking at a live yesterday, and the artist asked the girl, what do you look for in a man? And she's like, a lot of things. And he asked her, okay, name one. And she didn't know. And a lot of people in the live was like,
Alexis.
She's ghetto. She doesn't know anything.
Yes, Andy.
You know? Huh?
Sandy said Alexis.
Alexis, yeah. So she didn't know what.
And a back seat.
So if you can tell someone, values of a person that you would like, then how are you going to be getting the right person for yourself if you yourself don't even know what is right for you?
All that stems from age, because what I liked in my early 20s, I'm not tolerating.
This girl was at least 20 something.
It's not even age no more, right? Right now it's a generation. I believe the generation.
It is the generation.
Exactly.
And believe it or not, most of these females, because me personally, I think it's very distasteful. And as a man who love women, but just that on the whole is very distasteful. But if you look at it, most of these females have been doing this. They've been doing it before the whole pandemic. It's just now they have a platform to do it. Because if you look at most of these girls' Instagrams or TikTok, they've been shaking their ass. They've been half naked. And they've been doing all of this shit. But now they have a platform to do it on. And then these DJs seeing that that's their income, that's the only way they get their publicity. They're just exploiting it at this moment.
They are. Now they're going to get more views. And I mean, unfortunately, that's the society that we're in.
It is. And to me, it's annoying because a few years ago, I talked to my first American female. And that to me, that honestly, no disrespect to Americans, but that was one of the worst things I could ever do in my life. Because no, not saying everybody's the same, but her mentality, and especially at that age and moving, every 2 seconds she wanna shake, she wanna do this, she asks on Instagram, not Instagram Live, on Insta story or Snapchat. I'm like, nah, dog, calm it down. Because it's annoying.
Selfie, man. Like, come on.
So, young girls, and they have a job now. And the co-workers see that is the attitude. That's right. If that is the attitude, you shaking your, as they say, your ass, and then Monday morning when it's time for work, you well dressed, prim and proper, and can talk to nobody ain't talking to you because you feel you there, but you shaking your ass on the internet.
Not even Monday morning, them shaking their ass Saturday and Sunday morning in church.
Oh God!
But look how common it is though. I remember a couple of years ago, I went out with my cousin and his baby moms. Right, it was just supposed to be to like a backyard party, a couple blocks from where I live. Right, there were strippers there, so I was like, all right, cool, whatever, we'll go. We get there, and the first rule is don't record the strippers. They kept saying it over the night, and then they finally got upset, and the stripper started talking, was like, I got a corporate job. I can't afford to have my picture out.
Ow, they should have worn face masks. Ow.
So I mean, it's up to that person themselves. I mean, if you got a good job and that's what you still want to do, I don't think that has to do with anything other than that's what they really want to do.
No, but you see, when it comes to strippers, it's something different because, like me, I don't find strippers so distasteful because at the end of the day, that's their profession. They get paid to do this.
Did you just say you don't find strippers distasteful?
That's their profession. They getting paid to do that.
You're losing me on that one, dog. You're losing me on that one. You're losing me on that one. I'm going.
Any people are trying to make, like, I wouldn't personally go and look at a stripper, but at the end of the day, that's what they choose to do. Say they do that, they get paid to do that.
You're lying. You don't tell them after something.
Son, I've never been to a strip club in my life.
You don't feel prostitution distasteful?
Huh?
Prostitution.
I mean, there's men have needs, and then that's their profession. Who are we to judge their profession?
Exactly. If that is your profession, you're getting paid to do it. That is you. Do you? I never say I go pay you to do it. Do you?
I understand what Fif's saying, you know. I understand what Fif's saying, you know, to be honest.
But most of the girls do this thing for free, and it makes no sense. Like, what you get out of doing this for free? Somebody like your Instagram profile?
Yeah, that's
they get more likes and they get a sponsorship.
Not even likes, they're getting views because on the Insta story, not even on your profile.
But this is like so sad. Like, you have to do certain things just to get, as they call, clout now, and then you become what it's called an influencer. That's the actual title they use it now. It's called an influencer. Now, there's this girl, I don't know, I think when I first joined Instagram, because I wasn't a too fan of Instagram until last year. There's a girl named called K-Crush or K-Crush something. She has some kind of long ass tongue like a snake.
Yeah, I see my video.
Dazzle look like that. Yo, ain't much Dazzle, you know.
Dazzle is liking all them things. All of them. Dazzle is triple top.
Yeah,
shit,
this guy was like, yo, check this out. I was like, what? He's like, yo, follow this person page. I'm like, okay. I'm on the page for like 2 minutes and I'm like, follow what? What is there for me to follow? This girl is out there just putting her tongue out, doing this, shaking, twerking. And she has like thousands and thousands of followers. I'm like, what? But then I went into a YouTube search. Homegirl is an influencer on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take a back seat and be like, hold up, this is serious business.
Yes.
But a guy cannot become an influencer as quick as a woman. There's no way. You have to do some kind of crazy stuff to be a male influencer. I don't know what it is, but
it's something different. You have to be something like a videographer or a DJ or something along those lines to be a male influencer.
Well, I don't even know for the male part to be really something else, bro. But Instagram promotes this thing because, like me, when I go on my Instagram page, I don't follow any page that show women or anything like that. But if I hit the explore my Instagram page, better than believe the whole list is ass, nanny, this, that, and the third. I try to figure out where Instagram get this from.
You see, you just sell yourself out. The explore page is based on other photos that you've liked.
Yeah,
I don't like them.
You sell yourself.
I don't like them. I don't like them.
You sell yourself out.
I know that's the platform. That's the algorithm. But the likes of me, every time I would go on Instagram and just click the magnifying glass. I didn't even type in anything. And automatically all the scene is bottom. I was like, where this come from?
Yeah, because that's what you like from before.
How many years ago?
Yeah. You put your foot in your mouth, dog. You can't take that one out.
That's true. Whatever you hashtag or you follow and stuff, it really comes back. Because even if I go on certain websites and I have my Facebook open in another tab and I go on Facebook in the next 2 minutes, all the freaking like the cash and that freaking troll, it just comes and it gives me a sponsor of what I was looking for.
Yeah, I understand sponsorship because, like, for me, my house full of Alexa. So if I talk about something, I'm always gonna see an ad this and anything. But the Instagram thing, I don't understand because I don't search for them stuff. I don't look at them stuff.
I like working in the background. Don't worry.
But Instagram and WhatsApp are all connected, so they're gonna follow you. Everything you say, they follow you.
Yep. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, they're all together.
Like, I was looking for Junior's Cheesecake, and Junior Cheesecake's flyer came up on my Facebook.
That's crazy. That's the devil.
Dude, that's how it is. Funny enough, my house is full of Alexa, and sometimes I'm looking for and knife sets. Later in the night, I go on Facebook, and every time I scroll, knives, knives, knives. I ain't even say it, like it's started reading my mind now. It's
That's
ridiculous.
scary.
It is,
It's true though.
But the thing is, I mean, Shiloh, you do IT and all that stuff, so you should know the cookies that's on the web browsers, right? That's what Facebook and Instagram use for the information for wherever you browse, and then
That's
it
why
comes
mine.
to the page. So that's
I
basically
clear mine really justly. I clear my cookie. I even have a script that runs that clears this out.
How do you clear your cookie?
In our settings.
Go into your settings. You guys get your mind
Pause.
off the
Pause.
Momo, like you have something to clear you.
That went right over your head. Or you.
That's a pause.
You go into your settings and it'll show you how to do it.
Okay, thanks.
It's on the right hand side, settings, and then you clear cookies and anything, passwords, whatever you want to clear, and it'll clear it for you.
Nikki, it's more than that now, because like for instance, when I used to be working at Best Buy, Best Buy they educate you on stuff like this, and how these devices work now is no longer based on what you search.
They
like
have
once
bots.
you have Alexa or
They have
Google or
bots.
stuff, huh?
They have bots that's on there, like robots, but they call them bots. So they
Yeah.
take all your information, and then when you sign up for Facebook and Instagram, you sign something that authorizes them, you know,
to use the
on
information.
Facebook, yeah.
Anybody.
Not
can
even
sell
just
it.
the information.
It's not
It's
even
their
that.
microphone.
It's not
They
even
have
that.
access to
And
your
that's the point that's
microphone.
getting through. Most of these devices with their microphone, they listen to how they say. Well, I used to go to Alexa trainings, and they use it to help you. So therefore, if Alexa picks up something that you might need, it helps you do that. By the end of the day, it's listening to everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't
That's
record you,
weird.
but it listens to everything you say or do.
But even I'll just say this.
Because
I'll just say this
if
one
you go
thing.
to any of your phone app right now, I just turned mine on just to show you all something. If
Yeah.
you go to any of your phone app right now, right? This option right there, a lot of people don't turn off.
Which one?
Where it says learn from this app and
Yeah.
allow this app to learn anything you're doing. I
Yeah.
turn this on all my apps. So you have an app like Instagram or Adobe or Cash App, and you go into your settings.
Yeah.
Where it says Siri, you're gonna see Siri is gonna be learning everything.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Look, learn from this app.
I go on.
Yeah, man.
Everybody, have a good night.
All right. Good night. Bye.
More stuff like this, people have to turn off on their phones, but they don't turn off, and then they're like, "Why Cash App is on my like? Why am I getting this?" But I'm telling you, oh man, that's why I turn everything off. Like boom, boom. I just turn them on just about. I
Turn
turn
those
everything
things off. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I don't
everything
need no
is
app.
connected.
I don't need no app. When I install an app, first thing I do is go on take everything off.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys ever realized, like when you're searching, like if you just Google something one day, you know, like next few days you start seeing ads popping up with that particular item that you were searching for. And what Google does is it records your search, search history, and they have targeted ads towards people who search for particular things on the internet.
Yours
But
taking a
sometimes
few
you don't
days.
even
Mine is
sometimes
taking a
you
few
don't even have
seconds.
to Google. Sometimes you don't have to Google. One time I was actually physically on the phone talking to my cousin about something, and
Let's talk
then
about it.
later on it popped up on my Facebook, and I'm like, that's weird. Like we were
if you have
about it. Like that's
you have
scary. That's the
Google.
devil.
Certain sites right now
I have Android,
don't
yeah.
allow you to do certain thing unless you say accept cookies.
Yep.
Oh.
I like
It pops
cookies.
up at the bottom.
I like cookies. I'm very lazy with passwords. I can't remember. So cookies is mad easy. Click and it have everything.
Cookies and password is two different things.
But if you have an Apple computer too, what it does, like when I sign on to mine, Google would ask for your password for your thing in order to be able to get all your passwords.
Single sign on.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they have a lot of your information. You know?
I don't do none of these things, man. Well, I mean, I know a little better. I'm not brilliant, but I know
I
that-
give up. You can't fight it anymore. Because my house is
That's
full of
what I'm saying.
technology.
You
They
just
go and
gotta
find out.
give in. Give in
They'll
or
find
give out.
information, but you could actually limit certain accesses. When you know certain things, then you'll understand it. But you could limit them from access.
No, you can limit it, but at this point, my house is basically controlled by technology. So I just like, you know what, take what you want, yes.
That's crazy. Alexa gonna come and take. She gonna come take the buddy too. Well, take what you want.
Because she want, as long as you don't take more money, I good.
And you know what I love about people like Fifth? That's great. Because I'll always be employed and I'll always actually market certain things because people like you, the mentality, not to say nothing that you said was wrong, but the mentality you have will always have room for people like me in software engineering and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you will win because you're gonna help people. But the thing is, I may not be deep in software, but I know enough. I know enough to get around.
Yeah.
Because that's
how they get people information, man, and they fish at so many people, and people wonder why their emails, why they're getting so much phishing and spam emails, but it's just certain habits that you do, and then your inbox becomes that filter, and then your information is on the dark web. It's not your social security or nothing. It's just small stuff like your email address. Your email, all they need is an email address to start to just send you spoofing emails and phishing emails.
Yeah.
And that one little stupid click you may make one day, boom, execute that code. You don't see anything that's running. You might think it's just like whatever.
Yes, because I keep getting these Apple, thank you for your Apple purchase. I'm like, I don't even have Apple. I don't even mess with Apple. I don't buy no Apple music or nothing. Huh?
It's just your email that you have for your Apple ID or whatever.
No, I have none. I have nothing. I'm straight Android. I have nothing Apple, but it pops up. So it's like, okay,
she's a hater.
Is this?
That's probably spam because I get a lot of spam emails with like, your PayPal, just PayPal spam in general. So you just have
account, right?
Yeah, but they're fake. They're fake PayPal accounts.
PayPal
Going around telling you.
That's why there was a breach at PayPal because I get that too. People had a breach.
But if you look at but you just have to pay attention to the email address because then the email address is not a legit PayPal email address.
What about the text messages? I'm getting them like every morning now.
Where are texts from?
It's ridiculous.
I block them. I don't even open. Oh, your package is here. We got that money for you. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Sound like he's a man without the backseat talking to your Chandy.
Exactly, man. Deliver the package.
Come back.
Guys, be careful. There are lots of phishing sites. They might come across looking like a legit site that you usually log into.
True.
And they actually capture your email address and password.
Yep.
That's what they do. And the thing with these phishing sites and applications is the logos. It be, if not the same, very close to the actual logo.
Very close.
And now it's a lot of time for scammers. Now it's a lot of time for scammers because a lot of people are online shopping. Everyone's home. You have nothing but time on your hand. So I could only imagine.
But like
for example, something as simple as like Google Chrome. When I used to work Geek Squad, it have an application called Chromium. It looks exactly like the Google Chrome logo, but it's all blue. And trust and believe, 98% of the people who have Windows computer have that Chromium program on the computer.
You mean Chromium?
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm trying that, brother.
I'm Island Man too, man. I'm Island Man too. No, I know. But Chromium is legit. FYI, Chromium, it's an actual higher browser to Google, like Google Chrome. I use Chromium. So I know about it. Yeah, it's legit. It's not no bogus thing.
It looks bogus to me. That's why I get rid of it from everybody.
Exactly.
It looks bogus.
Yeah, no, it's 100% legit from Chrome. But if you work like with Chrome environments, you will know about it. I use it at home. It's way faster than Google Chrome. I do not use Google browser like this. I use it like off and on, but I use Chromium majority of the time. It's Chrome don't really advertise it yet because it's still like a test beta type of thing, and it's like
for so much years.
That's what they are, man. They just thought process, man. Thought process.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's why I use Safari. Yes, Safari all the way.
Nah, man. That's right.
Everything I have is Apple. Everything is Apple. I have three Apple in my house. There's laptops and Macs.
Chandy, you sell papers, man.
And on that note, we're gonna say, Dazzle, take it away with the music.
Oh yeah, Dazzle wants to play.
Because Dazzle's about to fall asleep.
I mean, the whole time I'm thinking here, I'm just literally sitting here thinking about, damn, I should be a scammer, bro. It's that easy.
Word, it's very easy.
It's not that hard for real.
It really isn't.
Listen to Shiloh.
It's not hard, just a way I catch.
Shiloh, we can link, we can make some money,
Let's go get catch, dog.
Influencers.
Well, don't get catch because I'm not giving y'all no showers.
Oh my goodness.
And if you get catch, make sure less than 10,000 you get catch for.
They're gonna have to work hard to catch me, and if they do catch me, Mo will have to lick me on the inside with some double.
Nah, no shower, no dazzle.
Who tell you go in sing sing?
Did you want to say anything to the conversation?
Oh yeah, this guy just got in.
He's been here.
Why you gotta shout him out like that?
He's been here.
I can't
I was
just
like, wait a
watch-
minute.
sit back and watch y'all talking. I gotta always put me on the spot like that.
Chandy, I want y'all to ask him that question, man, earlier before we go into dazzle music for real. I want to hear. We should-
What's the question?
Oh, go ahead.
I say, actually, what's the question? Yeah, I was talking about a whole bunch of stuff a while ago.
The Lexus question?
Yes, Shandy, ask the question. You're sleeping over there?
No, I ain't sleeping. I'm watching. Have you
You wanna ask Chandy?
Have you ever had a love that you let go because you weren't ready to settle down with them?
Did he disappear? Oh.
I was about to say, where the crickets?
Man, you're making sure your wife ain't watching any conversation.
I don't know the answer to that question right there.
See?
Okay. Anybody you want to shout
I
out?
love everyone.
Oh, okay. Is there anything that you enjoy from the program?
Listen, I enjoy everything because I meet people that I never met before. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know.
Okay.
Shiloh.
Yo.
Yeah, this is my second time on. I missed last week because I was kind of busy, so not sure what y'all did last week. And I kind of forgot, that's why I came on so late today. I was doing something else.
Yeah, we've been.
That was the one with the teacher wife?
Every time.
No, that's not him. That's not him.
Oh, okay.
Look how Mo tried to get man in trouble.
He looked like the guy that had the wife that's a
Like,
teacher.
what? Huh?
He's like, what?
For somebody who's a correction officer, you need to be more observant.
Well, they look similar. Different names.
For some reason, I always look similar to somebody. I don't know why. Hopefully, the wrong person ain't looking for me one day and something.
Set up.
All right.
But thank you for joining us this week, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Dazzle, you could take it away. Thank you, everybody, again. I don't know if Nikki want to say anything else, but we'll be meeting up next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m., and we'll have the artist Wendy on from the Bahamas.
Yeah. I just wanted to say everyone could go on our YouTube page. Well, those who are not on Facebook, God, you scare me. This boy keep pinging on me. My son. Hold on.
Right.
Two people just entered. Oh shoot! I even know how to let them in.
Yeah, I know this quarantine people feel like Watch Chubble goes till like 1 a.m.
Probably.
Yeah. No, well, two people who was here before, Sniper's coming back and Sibo's coming back. But I just wanted to let everyone know that we have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page, we have a YouTube page, and all of those pages is Watch Chubble. The series that we had, 1, 2, and 3 is already out. We have one up right now, and we have some short ones. Hold on. We have some trailers where you would see some of the conversations that we spoke about, probably like a minute or so. So that's basically it. And you could add our page, NikkiGTV on Instagram, and you could also find me on SoundCloud. Same thing, NikkiGTV.
I'm taking this off on Moise.
Ah!
Oh, Lord.
That's for radio. That's for radio. I don't say it over here because it to me like it doesn't make any sense. And then everybody
They gotta see you. NikkiGTV, soft voice.
we actually never introduce ourselves on here, like saying what we usually do on the radio, But yes, I am Nikki G, the voice. The voice is soft and moist, the people's choice. And Shandy.
Yeah, see how she just changed her voice just to say that.
That's what I'm thinking.
I went into commercial mode there.
That's what it is.
I can stop
Nikki just always do that in the middle of conversation.
I'm Chandy Media, or Shandy Sweet and Fluffy like pink cotton candy on boomstation.net's Watch Chubble.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining
I
us.
see the boom station right here, so.
Yeah, but I'm Chandy Seasoning right there.
Big up, Shandy's.
Your flavors. Please take a look at my Sibo, who's my marketing director of my product. Any inquiries, please come to her. Get on her case if you feel that the product is not being marketed properly.
Also, she
we ain't getting on her. We getting on you.
What is the product? That's what I asked you guys today. What was the product?
Green seasoning.
Oh God!
The
Yo, my
logo.
internet won't let me.
Your background, your background.
Yeah, it's green seasoning and pepper sauce, but everybody don't eat pepper sauce.
Yo, Sibo need to get on the game, man, and do some
That's
drive
green
by.
seasoning. Sibo's
Shandy could do it too.
Vincent, so
exactly. So Shandy could do it herself.
But yes, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks you guys for logging.
Hey, yo, Dazzle!
And Sniper's still trying to come.
You can mute everybody now, Nikki, and let Dazzle play the music.
All right, cool.
Nikki mute Dazzle too.
I know. That's how I was
Disrespectful. Disrespectful.
Too nice to him, the boy love him barely just passing. Breaking news. Man, what kill him, girl? Kiss a cause her pussy too good. Breaking news. Girl, your pussy too good. Breaking news. Man, what kill him, girl? Kiss a cause her pussy too good. Breaking news. Girl, your pussy too good. If you's a king, treat her like a queen. Remember, send out the two on her like a team. Don't be the man, just can't understand him. No band with a pussy and a go like a film. Stop fight with him, make him fight for you like Tyson, girl. You're too nice to win, the boy love him belly. Poison. Breaking news. Man, what kill him, girl? Kiss a cause her pussy too good. Breaking news. Girl, your pussy too good. Breaking news. Man, what kill him, girl? Kiss a cause her pussy too good. Breaking news. Girl, your pussy too good. You be careful where you drop your seed because you can't expect flowers for your bloom where you water weed. You beat your girl, your daughter seat. Now she go through a time in your ears when you fast asleep. Girl, nobody give up on love. If your heart never broke on me, would I get it? Man, my right off, girl, feel it fair. For the rest of the story, check it. But no, breaking news. Man, what kill him, girl? Yes, I cause her pussy too good. Breaking news. Girl, your pussy too good. Breaking news. Man, what kill him, girl? Yes, I cause her pussy too good.
Are you serious right now?
Breaking news. Girl, your pussy too good.
Seriously.
Some boy on the life, boy have some girl I rather start for your wife or your yard. Them think they mean a lie. Lucky she not stab with a knife. And some boy, I fuck some ways, girl road. Half them a chase her around. How the fuck you a fuck some dude? Then I walk up with it in a crowd. Hey, no girl me fuck can't stand no drama. Me make me girl be that banana. Baby miss she know them policy. After 9 o'clock she can't call me. After me no eat that, yeah. After me no eat that, yeah. She better know say after certain time don't contact me, yeah. Me no know what them a think. Treat your girl but she a go cheat as a blink. Now you make a prick get the link. Fuck your girl inna the kitchen, wash me dick inna the sink. Let that sink in. You can't violate man a born kingpin, hey. So when you feel the pain, don't treat all of the girl the same. Some boy on a life, boy have some girl I rather start for your wife or your yard. Them think they mean a lie. Lucky she not stab with a knife. And some boy, I fuck some ways, girl road. Half them a chase her around. How the fuck you a fuck some dude? Then I walk up with it in a crowd. Hey, no girl me fuck can't stand no drama. Me make me girl be that banana. Baby miss she know them policy. After 9 o'clock she can't call me. After me no eat that, yeah. After me no eat that, yeah. She better know say after certain time don't contact me, yeah. No girl me fuck can't stand no drama. Me make me girl be that banana. Baby mistress know them policy. After 9 o'clock she can't call me. After me no eat that, yeah. After me no eat that, yeah. She better know say after certain time don't contact me, yeah.
Going on limit.
He's like, after he ended it, after this time, don't. And he's right. He talked about it last night, and he was saying, don't call him after 11:15. Cranium Lives is always lit. But anyway, good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Later, people.
Thank you very much for joining.
Good night. Good night.
Be safe.
Later, time to go and cook.
Go and cook. It's bedtime.
It's
In my lunchtime.
Later, guys.
All right, bye.